Tarnish gonna be the first one in here, just like every week, probably.
That nigga Tarnish funny as hell.
Dog, I love.
He got bad eyesight, bro. He said he seen me saying some wild shit. I don't know what he's talking about.
What is up, guys? It's your boy Aniki. We got the Church of MHA with the roster is currently locked and loaded. We got BG Anime already on deck.
Whoa.
We got Archbishop East in the chambers.
Hail the king.
Oh, we was wrong. It's Adam D. Blurred his first. We got Say Yes.
Hi.
And Ian is loading in, but I don't know. It seems like his internet's on the struggle bus right now. But that being said, y'all know I'm greedy. I'm hungry. I got to start the chapter right here, right now. Chapter 288, My Hero Academia. Rex Zor loading into. Let's go. The squad is pulling up expeditiously. I know that means this is a good chapter. It's a good sign.
Oh, I thought this was the One Piece stream. I'll see y'all later.
Ooh, bro. If Captain Celebrity pulls up. Anyway. Are we not there yet? Kindly ensure we arrive within the next 5 minutes. Not happening. It's not like we're Hawks or Mirko. And standing while we're flying at top speed is dangerous, so please sit down. Especially since you're not back to full health yet. See, we got this American looking as military, man. All right, at this very moment, countless lives are being lost.
Oh.
Nothing else matters, so don't change this subject. I'm just trying to show my concern here.
Who's that?
Is that?
Yo, Aniki, I said this is the Vigilantes dub. Look at what's in that panel.
Hold up. Oh, shit.
Yes, sir.
Oh, shit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we do got confirmation finally on that.
Wait, I'm confused. What's going on?
So should I just say it now, East?
Yeah, you might. It's nothing else, so you might just say it.
Oh yeah, this is Best Genus.
Yeah,
it's 100% confirmed. It's 100%
That's what I was
confirmed.
thinking.
No, that's carbon fiber.
If you read Vigilantes in the Sky art, that was one of the things he used the building from the falling apart.
All right, so we finally got confirmation that they did manage to get a dummy somehow.
Thank you, finally.
Because like I was looking at him like, man, this is looking kind of rough. And we ain't got no quirks introduced yet that can explain you pulling this off. So what's up?
Yeah.
Well, that's not what they have to explain to me. What they have to explain.
I mean, it's not 100% certain. I guess you could still.
What they got to explain to me is why the fuck Hawks pulled up on him like that. Then.
Don't worry, that's coming.
Yeah, we'll have to explain that, and we'll have to explain that. We'll have to explain why he looked at Bakugo, because otherwise those are just red herrings for the sake of shock value.
Yeah,
and I don't
I
like
have to say. It's not 100% certain yet, but like there's still possibilities like quirk stealing that are around in this show. But I feel a little bit vindicated after last week's discussion.
Our target is currently passing through Nabato City at 100 kilometers per hour. All right, let me just real quick plug that in because I want to know what that is in miles. Because I think that's less than 70 miles out. I think it's around like 60, but.
It's faster than anybody should be.
It's 62.137 miles per hour, so it's a mile a minute. Well, a little less than a mile a minute, or a little more than a mile a minute. Isn't that way too fast? No way. Like too big. Not to mention indestructible. He's tossing aside buildings with massive mole-like claws. All that flying rubble means more destruction than just what's in his path. We need to evacuate the areas within a 5-kilometer radius around his route. If we keep heading this direction, we'll encounter the monster in about 8 minutes. We're already looking at unprecedented damage. This is our failing. What's up, guys? It's the Hero Society, and today we want to talk to you about how we let you down. These happen to be in the way.
I'm glad you bring it up.
Our host today, Dobby Todoroki. Would you like to expose?
No. See, so here's what I want. Like, I was imagining all kinds of different skeptic podcast scenarios where, like, Skeptic's like, hey guys, it's your boy Skeptic. We're gonna be talking about the hero, and then like Dobby just busts in, ain't no heroes in this bitch. And he's like, oh well, yeah, we know. And then Gaten's like, do you mean dogs of a state, nigga? It's like just popping out on each side. Like, these good people just happen to be in the way. We must save their lives, even at the cost of our own. Why should they suffer for our mistakes? Keep spitting.
Love it.
Heroes incoming. A satellite image. How handy. Handy, he says, betraying his shameful lack of sophistication. Oh my God. Not quite the hero army we met at the villa, but still a good number. Our being here is mostly due to luck and happenstance. We must keep aware of the approaching enemy if we hope to. Go back, zoom in there, long hair. Is that any way to ask someone for a favor? Speak of the devils, it's them. Uh-oh. Mister, give me my equipment, huh? So aggressive, you're making this old man blush. Quick.
Now I like to point out, whoever said that twice his body in the marble theory is all more looking more valid right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. There.
Why do you say that? Actually, I'm not disagreeing.
Because people were claiming that he didn't have any more balls. That's what he said so himself. But that's technically no more balls to use as a freebie or as an attack. As you can see right here, he still has balls or marbles in his pocket, and the magician never reveals all his secrets. So it's still plausible that they would have taken twice his body. It's not they couldn't find that shit. It's not they wouldn't have known.
Probably would have picked it up by scent anyway.
Yeah, and then plus, and if he had enough time to go actually get skeptic from way in the back of the room, I'm pretty sure they could have took the nigga body.
Yeah.
No, the idea that he didn't have any like more seeds, that's stupid because it's literally his power.
Yeah. Or you can just create more.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like people were assuming that it meant like he had to have the balls physically. I'm like, that's not how his power works.
Yeah, what he meant was he had no more like rubble. Yeah,
he just had pre-repaired things he could use.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was just trying to fuck people up. Like he was talking about weapon-wise, but like everybody's gear, he's good. Not so fast, young lady. Look, if I hadn't noticed them. Don't jump from this height; it's dangerous. Feeling all confused and gloomy just makes me feel sick. I have to go ask them. I have to. It's especially important that it's both Sue and Uraraka because this is 100% called back to forest training now.
Yes.
Even though. So I realized that forest training was the most discouraged I'd ever been while reading MHA. And the reason, yes, I was thinking about it because I remember when we were discussing like what was our favorite or worst arcs, and people were like, well, muscular and da-da-da-da. I remember now that Kamino was where I believed in Hori, but forest training is where I doubted him the most because he did the Bakugo kidnapping.
But then it all paid off and you're like, oh, got it.
And that's why I was like, well, shit. All right. This is why people say this is going to be great because it didn't do what everybody fucking does. So, yeah. At this very moment, say something, Dobby. Don't just stand there grinning. Huh? Who cares? Hey, stop spying on random crap and hurry up unless you want to get burned. Woo! You people, I swear. Toga, I know we're just a gang of strays who happen to find each other. But you're not the only one feeling messed up over twice. The league was the only place he felt he could belong, and the boss probably wants us to stick together. I know that doing as we please is the villain way, but you better come back to us. Yo! I love this.
Dun, dun, dun. Love it.
The giant villain is in sight. He's fast. Hurry up with the evacuation. Run away perpendicular from his path. They're still... Bro, Uraraka's shooting out all these commands. Run away perpendicular from his path. They're still
I'm really surprised that they're already there with Uraraka.
Split up and rescue him. Nah, Horikoshi about to. Nah, he telling you, quit playing with my girl.
No. I'm really surprised like how fast Higatomakia arrived at Uraraka more or less. Like
really?
Not really because it would have been like a waste of time to just let them waste more time. But still, I think it would happen right the next chapter.
What this does do? Wait.
Yeah.
Is it lets us know that yes, the raid inside the hospital itself only took about or like the raid in the hospital took about 10 minutes, right? But it also lets us know that the raid over at the hotel might have like taken like a similar amount of time, but it's been at least an hour since this arc started.
Yeah, the fight with Shigaraki must have been much longer than we thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know what we thought, how long it took, but it took at least like 45 minutes.
How long do you think it took?
It kind of doesn't matter what we think. It objectively had to have taken around like an hour.
Yeah, I think it would have been 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where exactly
Makia's exactly 80 kilometers away originally.
Which probably doesn't actually make any sense when most of the chapters with the Shigaraki fight literally take place over seconds, like the Aizawa chapter.
I think most of this is the I think most of it is the time frame that we have while Aizawa was shutting down his quirk. There was a bit of a time gap there where we went back to Shigaraki when Shigaraki was already injured. And
no, that was after the punch. That was after the punch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you viably believe
But I think there was a
believe
bit
that he
of
had his
time.
eyes open for 30 minutes.
I mean, he was properly getting them moisturized, so like.
Nah, we saw the whole fight because when we cut back, it's the same
Yeah.
fist that he punched, and everyone's in the same position, and Shigaraki has the same amount of damage.
Yeah.
Really,
So-
really, what you have to do, timeout. What you just kind of have to do is assume that like the chase phase took longer.
It's just shonen time. It's fine. Like it's
Well,
fine.
also,
Maybe
I
they just
think-
talked more than we thought.
I actually, I'm actually assuming
real quick, BG, because like one thing I want to say is that I don't think it took like an hour or whatever. I think that Giganto just moves faster when he's in the forest, going in between city to city, or because like he's moving at 100 kilometers right now because he's got to go through all the buildings and stuff. But there's like area in between each city. So like if he's able to move at max speed in between those, then slows down to get through the buildings, then I mean we don't know how fast he actually goes.
I mean, that was still put
it's
it around
true,
like
but
30
with all
minutes.
the city names that we heard between where he was and where he aimed to his destination, there couldn't have been much forest in between. Of course, the first stretch where the fight against the students was, but after that there couldn't have been much forest really. That's a very urban area there.
Well, that's why I had my speculation that it's not that necessarily that he's slowing down in the cities. I feel like he's getting slower.
But I mean, he's also not there yet, right?
Well,
So
actually,
he's literally right outside the
I
city.
mean, we don't know how much.
Talking about the anesthesia.
How much
Yeah,
Shigaraki
yeah.
and Floppy are actually away from.
I think
Did we finish it?
wait, guys, let each other talk.
Oh, did we finish the chapter yet? Before I
No,
say
we did
anything?
not finish the chapter. But
Okay.
yes, the anesthesia. That like so either we can say like the raid had took like, cause you got to think like Mirko and them were fighting for like 5-10 minutes. You can assume that like when he woke up, blew up the. Because like also when the dust was clearing, you don't know how long people were setting up, talking, strategizing to like, hey, you take this person, go do this, you go do this, you go do this. So there's a lot of like little extra stuff in between that like would have been like conversational dialogues and stuff that would have been coordinating and happening off screen while people were figuring out and getting their awareness for their surroundings. Like Endeavor probably didn't just pull up on Shigaraki, and we know he couldn't have because he was originally holding Mirko, had to pass her off to his sidekick. Like there's a lot of little stuff that's happening in the background that we just aren't looking at on panel because it's not as important as everything that's happening, or because we're getting handed information that later lets us know already what exactly happened in that time frame. So yeah, all right. Let me get past page 8-9 though. Floppy. Ooh, snap. What? Okay, so this building's like flying. Sorry for the rough handling. Ooh, what did that trick? Thanks. That did the trick. Thanks. Hey, you two, I need help. My husband's bedridden and he's too heavy for me to carry. Oof, already too close for our place is now here. Hurry. This is Toga. Fuck. Okay, get those two to safety, Floppy. Be careful. We can't.
I didn't catch that yet.
We gotta save every life we can. My poor Takeo. Those legs of yours sure can move, man. The strength of my legs is thanks to Takeo's love. He'll be okay because I'm gonna save him. She doesn't look happy. You will? Yes, I was right.
Yeah, that double espresso clean, dog.
I was
it's genuinely kind of
immediately when you
unsettling.
said it, right? But then when they said that the husband's name was Takeo, I was again thrown for a loop because I thought the chapter is named Takeo. This can't be just a red herring.
It's been forever, Ochako. Wait, I was hoping to chat with Sue too, because Sue's my cute and precious friend, and with Izuku, I love him when he's all beaten up, which is like always, he's so cool. I love how cute you are, Ochako. I want to be just like you. Oh shit, she's about to step out wearing Ochako's face and they're gonna have to fight. So you gotta tell me. Oh no, what do you want to do to me? You mean you stole that old lady's blood, killed her, just to ask me a question like that? Just to... I was holding him in my arms. Listen, I'm trying to save every life I can right now. Understand, Himiko Toga. If you get in my way, then I'm gonna stop you right here, right now. Let's go.
And I'm so glad that we're shutting down Toga immediately. I'm tired of all this I'm tired of all this villain apologetics. We have Toga coming and being like, oh, hey, I need help. I have these existential crises of being a murderer. And Uraraka's just like, hey, so did you like kill that lady to ask me like a stupid dumb question that is stupid and dumb? And she's like, what? And she's like, yeah, if you get in my way, I'll arrest you. Yeah, I'm going to arrest you. And also, she's definitely going to arrest Toga because you do not have a page of all the League there being like, hey, Toga, we all care about you and Twice. You better definitely come back because Shigaraki wants to see us. And also Ochako can't afford to get an L at this point. Like Horikoshi has to give her a W. So
this is, bro. So I just gotta ask, like, bro. Oh man, no. Any Twitter's gonna turn into a shit show in the next 3 weeks. Oh boy.
Why?
I'm coming for heads. I hope I'll come up for. I'm definitely going for one specific person. This motherfucker be on my radar for that Ojiko bullshit since this arc started. I can't wait to come at that nigga.
No, you're just gonna hear a bunch of people crying about. Well, I mean, you know, like it doesn't matter. Like,
Wait. So you finished the chapter, right?
Yeah.
Well, just as I expected, the niggas is already saying, "Damn, the series is kind of losing steam already."
Yeah, because we switched to a different character, and it's like I don't care about them if they're not exploding or Shigaraki's not killing people. What are we?
I'm more on the fact that niggas are saying that I'm not gonna lie, the series is starting to lose steam after one fucking chapter.
Which chapter? I didn't notice any losing steam.
This one.
This one. All right. I love this chapter.
This one. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. So,
yeah, you set up another fight and somehow lost steam. What the hell?
Hold up. Because Red Scarlet is asking, why do we know this is best genus? I don't know if like you might not have been here or heard that part because we were like talking over each other. But in My Hero Academia Vigilantes, there is the Sky Egg arc. During this arc, a building is literally collapsing, like one of the biggest ones, kind of built like the Seattle Space Needle. And Best Genus has a bunch of trucks filled with carbon fiber, pull up, and then uses those carbon fiber cables to stabilize it while Captain Celebrity is standing in the air holding it as the building's being bombarded with explosions. He still stabilizes and holds it in place. So, like Horikoshi has been telling you, like your church has been telling you, Caleb Cook, the man who trains My Hero Academia, has told you now, you need to read Vigilantes.
You don't need to.
You don't need to.
You could follow the story even without knowing this. You just realize that Best Genus was probably alive a few chapters later. This is just where when you watch My Hero, when you read Vigilantes, you get like a head start.
No, here's the thing. Here's why, I still say people should just make sure they read it, because he straight up said everything from school briefs, from team up missions, from Vigilantes, he has to log in a spreadsheet to make sure that shit never contradicts. Essentially, when he's doing his translations, that's how important like Vigilantes and briefs actually are as far as what his job entails. He has to log all of it.
When you work there, of course.
So like, if you're trying to engage in like a critical way, you have to make sure you actually are kind of looking at everything. Otherwise, you'll end up missing stuff or be confused.
Man, look, they can do it. Listen, I'm not gonna keep saying nothing. I wasted my breath enough. You don't want to read it? Oh well. If another Share Chromo level type thing come up, that's your fault. I don't want to hear no complaints.
It's true. Like when the author, the translator, when everybody's telling you to read it and you're like, oh, I don't have to do that. You don't get to complain about, well, the Aizawa backstory was in the wrong manga.
Nah, he put in there for a goddamn reason because y'all should have been reading it. I don't care. My baby at Vigilantes right now, I'm getting double the dose.
Yeah.
She got a commission in the main, but she coming back in a spinoff. Say less. I'm eating. I don't care.
Man, so so what I like about this is that it shows like the confidence that these two have like displayed as far as like Sue and Uraraka, like, and clearly whatever they did during their fucking internships has like caused them to level up quite a bit.
Yeah, they're also a really good team. I love it.
Yeah, and like we were getting school briefs, which was covering a lot of stuff, and I think that doesn't have any more volumes coming out, but I would really love some side novels that cover this past 4 months.
Oh, school briefs probably could still have more manga because they had a new one come out recently.
Yeah,
so they're gonna probably still keep making it.
I'm hoping so, because like
it's funny how behind that shit is.
I'm like convinced unless they say it's over, it's not over. The same as because like even fucking like what's it called? Smash they confirmed that was over. Sadly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he also specifically said don't use the 2 times Kirishima died in Smash. Like that you don't have to worry about.
Like I said, fucking Smash is so funny.
Okay, my favorite Smash moment so far was the one where Uraraka, they were like doing the testing, and she throws the ball, and then like the kids were so busy being impressed by the fact that she threw a ball infinitely, they didn't realize that for a brief moment she created an alternate reality in which gravity could not affect things, changing the laws of physics themselves. This great discovery would go unnoticed forever.
I feel like it annoys me because fucking if they would have kept doing Smash, especially now, that shit would have been fucking great. Like imagine if they had like they were doing Smash during the fucking 6 quirks reveal.
Oh my god.
No, the villain one was funny as hell to me when they were all on the beach talking shit to each other.
Oh, I love that one. I love that one.
And she just kept trying to read a book and everybody kept doing their own thing.
Like, all right, so real quick, like, because I know it's like some of y'all read this early. Any weird things that like y'all felt like was like mistranslated earlier that like people?
No, we were good this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than
it just.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You got it.
I was just gonna say, yeah, like some wording was a bit different. Like whenever, I mean, it means the same, but in like the translations, they had like, oh, twice called this his home, or like they had Shigaraki instead of being like, I think Shigaraki wants to see us together. They referenced when he said, "Bring everyone here." So, but I mean, all that stuff is still there, you know. Only thing people were, oh yeah, so people really gotta stop doing this, where people are doing discussion and review videos of leaks that haven't been translated. Like that's happening now, and so people are and people with like actual followings are making like, so in this chapter Uraraka is like chasing some old lady, and like I don't know why she doesn't know that this is suspicious, because why would this old lady, if you're trying to save her, be running away from you, Uraraka? Man, is she stupid? And I'm like, man, maybe if we had the translations, you would realize that she says she has a bedridden husband, and that makes more sense. So we have people out here who are reviewing that and getting that changed, but that's just that has nothing to do with the translations.
Maybe not.
No. We had scans. We had people
followers. No.
But I remember getting really weird theories about what happens in chapters based on just raw scans without translations.
Yeah,
as far as I know,
videos though.
Real quick. As far as I know, I know that Vocal Pineapple does that. I've seen him do it, and I've seen Turtle Quirk do it as well.
Well, the thing is that they're not necessarily discussing them; they're just telling their parents what the scans are, but not reviewing them. We're just saying like, okay, so here's what the
but the thing, but BG, here's the thing: they never, as far as I remember, they don't ever even make videos of when the official comes out. They do the scans, and then that's it.
No, they don't. That's not true.
That's not true.
I don't know about with Turtle Quirk, but with Fabian, like he does.
Well, Pineapple.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah, Pineapple.
He does spoilers and reviews. I don't know.
But otherwise,
yeah, in any case, I agree that there's no sense making a review for a chapter if you can't understand the language the chapter's in.
Well, that's
or even a discussion.
Like I said, people do that for clout. People do that because they literally feel like they deserve to make money off the stuff before Horikoshi's even like getting paid.
Oh yeah, but that's why I was specifically specifying. And they don't necessarily review the spoilers.
Well, they shouldn't even discuss it. Like this shit is stupid.
Yeah. People want to see it. I mean, I'm not gonna say I get it because people want to see it. Well, a lot of us read spoilers. Some of the people
want crack too. So
and now essentially they come to him for spoilers.
Speaking of spoiling,
to be that though, like,
well, yeah.
No, speaking of that, what they really need to stop fucking doing is stop putting the damn events of the chapter in the title and then saying the chapter MHA. Because Truth Hero, I fuck with Truth Hero, but I'll be damned if I didn't read that. If I didn't read the chapter prior to being on YouTube, this nigga would have spoiled me, bro.
Oh yeah,
was like Ochiko versus Toga. And then he said something else all on the title before it said MHA.
He said
chapter.
Best Genus Return.
Yeah, I'm like, nigga, had I not read the chapter yet, you would have fucking spoiled the shit out of me with the title alone. Because you didn't even say MHA chapter this. It's like, that's all at the bottom.
I mean, I said Best Genus Return last week, so please.
Yeah, like I said, now that is a problem. I think that is a problem. I don't feel like you talk.
All of it is a problem. Like because here's the thing. Yeah. At the end of the day, you're still perpetuating it, and then you're putting it online, and then you're increasing the odds. Because like the other thing that these people do is they fuck up the algorithm.
How so?
You can't watch My Hero videos without their videos eventually popping up in your shit, even if you don't follow them, because of their subscriber bases. Yeah. So if you're Truth Hero and I've unsubscribed from you, and I watch a couple of My Hero Academia content creators, and I scroll down some days, there's a chance your video will still just automatically pop up in my shit.
Well, that's why I talked about the titles. Because if you just had like on MHA chapter 287 spoilers, you don't have to watch it. You're not going to see nothing from it.
See, the issue is that people will still even use like images from, like, don't even put images from the chapter.
That's the thing. Titles and thumbnails should be spoiler free.
That's what when I used to do that. When I used to do that, I never put what happened in the chapter. I feel like that's stupid. I might have put a character, but I didn't put no damn.
Like, to me, there should be zero information that I can discern that's actually valuable about the chapter. Period.
Yeah, and also, whenever I did that, the only thing I would want you to know is that this person's in the chapter. That's all you would have to know. You would never know anything about what happens, and that's all. And that's how I feel it should be. Because I feel like if you're not someone who wants to see the spoilers, you shouldn't look at the fucking thumbnail and be like, "Fuck, I know what happens."
Also, like, if your channel is not just My Hero manga content, and you also do My Hero anime content, and you know people come to see you for anime content, just literally put My Hero chapter 287 review. Stop putting stuff in the like. I don't get how hard it is just to put the chapter review thing. It just it boggles.
It's called basic courtesy, and people just don't want to have it.
I know why they do it. I know why it's clickbait. It's meant to be clickbait. I get it.
It's clickbait, but it's like, bro, like, I don't get, like, just stop putting anything in the title. Like, if it's like, because there's an anime now, and that there's the anime following is much bigger than a manga following will ever be. And you also do anime reviews. Just literally put 287 review, 287 spoiler discussion.
There's gonna have to be. I'm gonna be real with you. There's gonna have to be something more than that. You're gonna have to put something more than that if you're gonna do a review, because otherwise it's just gonna be it's not gonna stick out in terms of the things.
But BG, that's the thing. But BG, that's the thing. It's just common decency. Like, if you don't have the decency, then that's what it is.
No, that's not what it is. That's not what you need to do. You don't need to necessarily just put a review, but you need to put something that doesn't definitely give away the chapter. Because you can do both. You can do both. You don't have to make it just.
You can't though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, like, you can.
Bro, here's the thing, BG. Here's the thing. Let's say I just put Shigaraki, My Hero 287 review. Even if you didn't spoil anything directly, now you get people thinking like, oh, Shigaraki is in this chapter, and then I know the anime is like 2 years behind. You get people aren't as dumb as people think. They get to thinking, they get to speculating. Like, just stop all of it together. That's my thing. Just stop all of it together. Of course, it's not.
We'd have to agree to disagree there, because that's not how YouTube works. So I'm like,
the thing is, it's like, if you want people to watch your video, you have to put more than just.
No, because here's the reality.
It's difficult.
No, here's the reality. The algorithm works this way because people with big channels force it to work this way. You have to realize that if you have a lot of views, you can literally influence how YouTube works.
Exactly.
Yes, that's true. But the thing is, you have to remember something. The way you get big views is you have to work with the algorithm, not against it.
No. You make the algorithm.
You can literally influence this.
But BG, you make the algorithm. You make it.
I'm saying no. If you're a small channel, which they were at one time, they have to work with the algorithm.
But are they small now?
No. But they've been there.
And they don't have an excuse.
But the thing is, you have to follow the algorithm. You still have to follow it, because the thing is, they're not big enough to influence the algorithm. They're still big.
Yes, they are.
Not necessarily.
As the biggest My Hero Academia.
Hand raised. Raise hand.
What is it?
Raise hand. Yeah. Sounds to me like it's a bunch of bitter motherfuckers. He jealous of the clout me and my boys got with his drip game. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going nowhere. I follow and staying high key while you niggas staying low key. We got flashy designs. You may have substance and heart, and that may count for something, but we got flashiness and, we got gaudy flashiness and no substance behind anything we do. We'll last longer than the rest of you. But now let's get actually to the chapter. This has been a fun discussion, but this is going back and forth, and we're really gonna get nowhere. I'd rather discuss.
Also, Smurda,
that is true.
Drop the subscription. I'm trying to get paid.
Can I pick a new topic?
Yeah,
or just just a thing I noticed.
Also, switch to hand raising.
Yeah, raised hand. So this will be perfect because I can kill two birds, one stone. So first of all, nobody better let me get off the hook, because I talk with Dustin every Friday about spoiler stuff. So I am a part of the problem. So don't let me get too far off that. But I just want to make that
pause.
Hold on. I just want to make that clear, since I came out being like the guy who was like, yeah, these spoiler videos, I am a part of a version of the spoiler video, so I have to fix that. But so that's
I know
that.
you're dusting up about that too. Cause y'all put
I just need to-
Ochako in the fucking title, and I was like, and I was just looking at,
Yeah.
I was even looking at My Hero
But
content.
that's all I wanted to say. Yeah. But that's all I wanted to say on that. So, and then my second part is that something I didn't discuss in that video, which is why I probably won't have too much to say this video, is that so Horikoshi, where like he don't waste panels. So in the scene where Uraraka's chasing the lady for the whole page, do we think that there's any substance to what Toga is saying as that lady, where she's like, my husband is bedridden? Well, who is the bedridden husband? Dead twice. Not that she considers him his husband, but I'm just trying to make if there's any connection here, because she wants to ask Toga questions. So if she's talking, is there anything she has to say? So I have a bedridden husband, please come help. Comes to help her. She wants to ask Uraraka if she would help her. So then they keep running, and it's like, wow, you're really fast. It's like, well, I can be fast because Takeo, who I looked it up, it means like warrior, made me strong. Well, whenever Twice died, she said, thank you for saving me. And it seems like that's something that's kind of helped her, find a place in the league as Twice. Then when we get around the corner, she says, don't worry, I'll save him I'll try my best to save him, Uraraka says. And then that's when she transforms back and says, really? And she looks excited. So do we think that's just fluff conversation, or do you think that it does mean that? And it doesn't have to mean anything more than that. But I'm just saying, is this kind of like a filler page, or is there actually kind of substance behind what she's saying? What do you think?
So
I say,
you think? I already have my hand raised. I was like, so you're thinking that this was essentially those questions that she was meaning to ask her, just in a very beating around the bush type of way.
This is like the build up to it. Like, this is her just like talking out loud. Yeah.
Oh, because the thing is, because if I was going to gather it from what towards the end of the chapter, it looks like to me like she kind of like got her answer. She don't like it.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that she didn't get her answer. I'm just saying, is Horikoshi using this page to build up to that question with what she is saying as the old lady? This isn't like even like, because past this point it doesn't matter anymore. But because she revealed herself. But I was just saying, do you guys think that's an artistic thing that he's doing there, or do you think it's just filler conversation?
No. I think it was intentional. I think it was intentional.
It's not filler. Question.
Yeah.
Because
what do you say, Aniki?
When you talk about she's talking about the weight of it all, and like her face has consistently been downcast. It's like she's carrying something on her neck. You kind of get like this idea that like the only time she's looked even slightly positive in the past, like even after catching like 12 bodies in one scene, she's only been like slightly positive in this moment when she can go to Uraraka, go to Asu, and try to acquire, in her mind, what is a form of salvation. Because at the end of the day, she still believes that like, this is just how I'm wired. So I'm not a bad person. I'm just a person who's wired in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's this weird self-accountable thing that occasionally people do that disgust me, but like whatever, this is a manga, so it's a little different. And she's only 17.
I mean, it makes sense and it's interesting.
Right. Yeah. But you have to realize to a certain degree that just because you feel a certain way, this is also why the whole notion that all feelings are justified is actually kind of toxic, because just because you feel and want to do certain things doesn't actually mean you're justified. But the whole point is like to build up the fact that she did lose somebody. Somebody is heavily injured. Will Twice become a Nomu? Probably a high-end one or two at that. We could get Zombie Twice. That would even like kind of upsell the Deadpool similarities even more if you think about it. Especially considering Deadpool is the guy that in one iteration survived being thrown into a star. But Deadpool's got some crazy feats.
So you would agree that it's intentional?
Like it's very intentional. He's like trying to build up to the fact that one, I think he was like trying to get you to be like, this is Toga. Come on, guys. But then two, the reality is like, she's like, hey, somebody like you killed her. So like, she's like trying to get these answers and wants to get salvation. And she doesn't realize, like Toga doesn't realize that I'm trying to save everybody. Like Toga wants her to say she'll save everyone. But what Toga didn't realize is that in the process of asking her question, she's directly contradicting Uraraka's dreams. It's what I call the lack of awareness of impact, where you think about all the stuff you want. You think about the way you're trying to interact with somebody. You might even think about how they feel, but you don't think about how you make them feel or how you
got there.
or like what creates these situations around you. And so, yeah, she's disappointed because like, she's like, just to like, what? This is a small thing to you? Because, you know, in her mind, she's in love. And in Uraraka's mind, you're just some crazy bitch that won't fucking stop stabbing people. So like,
you killed an old person just to ask me a dumb question.
All right, real quick. I'm about to go soon, but just to give my thoughts on chapter before I go. This chapter for me, like as I was reading it, maybe I have to read a couple more times, but it wasn't like anything. Like the only thing that really got me hyped was the beginning of the chapter because I didn't know who it was. Now talking to y'all is probably Best Genius, but I had a whole bunch of theories in my head of who it could be. But then like the final page, just for me personally, the reason why I like this thing, like this panel so much and like this whole 2 pages is because Toga was so excited to like hear that Uraraka would save everybody. Even if Toga did kill this lady, when she said you did this just to ask me this question, and in Toga mind it's like you just said you would save everybody, but you're saying just to ask this question, but this question will save me, but you're throwing that all away. So you're not saving everybody. You're just saving the good people that you want to save again, just like that y'all have always done. And that's how I'm pretty sure Toga's rationalizing it. It's like you're just saving who you want to save again and not me, even though this is very important to me. I'm glad that you want to save everybody, but I'm important too. But in the situation, you're prioritizing to let me go and to potentially kill me because I'm not important. So that's just the way I looked at it. I get a chapter like a 7.5 or 8, depending on if I read it again. But yeah, that's me.
Oh no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
This is same.
This is very setup-y. So I'm like, it's not really anything to write home about.
My thing is like,
and we getting ratings already?
I think it's got surprisingly good art, especially for a chapter that usually you would expect Horikoshi to kind of go light on a chapter like this and like snap in later. But one of the things that I do, I actually think this was a good place to take a break if we had to take one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we've already seen all this crazy stuff. We got like this also, I think, means that we can kind of look at the Shigaraki versus Deku match and stuff as kind of like for sure. We can look at that as ended. Now that's going to transition into, I'm trying not to die anymore on both sides. Because, you know, like we talked about, quirks can be overused. Hyper regeneration is tapping out. It just can't keep doing this. Because like you gotta think like it's had to fix Hell Curtain. It's had to fix like a flash fire fist as he got like knocked into the ground, which like he got knocked into more fire. It's had to probably adjust for like at least one prominence burn on his arm. It's had to do a lot. So the reality is just that like at this point, Shigaraki does need to get out there. And like you noticed, even after AFO took over his body and they separated, dude is still not fully healed. So that part of that phase is like over. If we see a couple more, like if we see another attack out of Shigaraki, it would be him using like the air cannon to get away, not to fight more people. Because even though he's like, oh, I want to win, he also once he's taken over his consciousness is back in his body, he's gonna have to register all that pain that he wasn't having to think about when AFO was taking over and healing him, you know? What up, Flo?
Whoa.
Oh, hi.
Oh, yep, Flo gonna make more water today.
Soccer mom season.
He bought out the headband.
Soccer mom season.
All right, what's up? You got your hand up.
Yeah. I want to talk to Ian. I want to bring up something with Ian.
Yeah, what's up?
Mr. Waffles. How you doing, buddy? So, and Dustin Stream, Dustin Stream, me and Ian talked Friday. We talked every day, Thursday. But what I forgot to talk to Ian about was something that he said in Dustin Stream. And it was that I want you to bring her your 3 points you made with Ochiko. Now, and that you said, but then that you said at one point was that they're the only pairing. But I think I misunderstood you. I think you meant more so as far as Deku go and Ochiko go. Like there's no one that the two are interested in other than those two.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you meant. Okay, because I'm pretty sure I misunderstood that initially.
I may have spoken wrong.
Yeah, so then I thought about it. I was like, okay, I think he just means those. Okay, all right. And then, all right, I just want to clarify that one real quick. Also, I just wanted to talk about how glad I am. I actually got Spinner's reaction to our emotions or feelings towards Twice's death, because that's one of the things I actually wanted to see and was wondering how he was going to handle. It was going to be Spinner's 2 cents on how Twice's death, like how he felt about Twice's death too. And it's nice to see that they all actually do care and have their own ways of dealing with processing the death of one of their own. This is a really good thing. It's a really fitting thing for me. Somebody said something about I'm really vibing with the league and their relationship as a family more than I am some members of Class A or the Class A as a whole, essentially.
Well, the league is more important than most of, like, a good chunk of Class A.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that people just
you don't
need
care
to
about
accept.
Cero.
Like, you need to accept.
I think they meant like more so the main cast or like the main because they had little trios and this, that, and the other. But I think he meant so more as to play devil's advocate, because I don't think they meant it in a bad way. I think they just meant like as in like the heroes and one of the heroes in general, because I understand where they were coming from and the fact that like underdog stories are usually more prevalent and they're more hard hitting or more rooted for it than the others, because the kids got a lot more stuff going for them or have these nicer lives. Like
they're
they
privileged.
stuff too. Yeah, exactly. They're really like upper class privileged kids, like except Ochiko. But in the sense that like they go to the top school, they got their house and door, they got everything built for them. But you see the league, it's like the league had muscular. Okay,
They
I
lived in
understand,
squalor.
yeah,
think about just look at NBA. Just look at NBA. Where were they living?
Yeah, and during Overhaul, you seen them like nigga. I'm reading Overhaul right now. Like I'm reading the story. I'm reading MHA. I'm barely finished Overhaul. Nigga, they had a flashback. That nigga was sitting. Them niggas even had bed mattresses, bro. They sitting on bed frame for sleep. I'm like, dog. You know how garbage that is. Like, and it's the fact that they're all they all have like reasons you can sympathize. Like the other actions, you don't have to like, I support them killing people, but dog, you can't sit here and tell me that you can't sympathize with a single one person. Like, they're not their fault. They're wireless. Half their fault is not. It's between quirks and this shitty ass society that they live in, that they live the life they live. Like we said before, blame off one all you want. Don't change the fact Shiggy would have killed this fucking fan without that nigga. That don't change that fact. And don't change the fact that nobody would have saved that nigga off the street. That nigga would have been sitting there, most likely joining up those two bum ass niggas that beat his ass before, and he probably been with them in the game, because it happens all the time. Homeless kids get snatched up by some older gang members, used to do all they fucking chores and shit like that. Like, you can't, like, bro, who was out here helping Twice when he had some bad luck and he was down in his luck? Who was out here, who got Toga the proper counseling and took the proper care of her? Yeah, she a little freaky, but that's, y'all just label as a freak and kept bury that shit. It's like, y'all niggas do this shit to the end. Who was helping Spinner? That nigga had to stay home because he lived in a backwater town. These niggas look at your face and call you a fucking freak.
Actually, I'm glad you brought up Spinner, because something that I was thinking about, and I don't know if you saw it in the church or not, is that if you look at the culture that we've been exposed to in My Hero Academia, and you factor in what we learned about the CRC, with there being a creature rejection clan in the first place, you look at their design, which is reminiscent of the Ku Klux Klan. Also, they're considered a religious organization, just like the Ku Klux Klan claims to be a Christian organization. Then you factor in that Destro's mom was killed just for having a kid with a quirk, whose face just happened to be a Rorschach test. You got to think, they were lynching mutants. Realistically, mutants that like were just built different were out here getting murked, hung up, burned alive, whatever. Like,
yeah, I think definitely that was a thing, especially the.
So Spinner.
I do want to add. Oh, wait, go on. My bad.
So Spinner would have grown up knowing like, niggas like me used to get murdered in the streets just for looking like me, while still being called lizard face, all these other things, just being disrespected publicly regularly.
Yeah, I really like Skinner getting his little scene, because the thing is, unlike Ethan, there are many in the league that I really don't relate to at all. Like I don't particularly like them, like Shigaraki and Darby. I don't particularly like them, but Skinner is somebody where I really can say that he is Spinner. Sorry, I knew I had something wrong.
It's funny. I like Skinner.
Spinner. I don't know, somebody that I like him. Like, he's not the most important and he's not the most interesting in terms of story that he currently has going on, but I think of the League, he's like the character I appreciate most. And
he's just a guy.
Yeah, and I'm most keen on just finding out how he feels about the things that's happening.
He's the Usopp of the League of Villains. Like he's supposed to be the relatable one, the everyman, but at the same time, like, you know, he's still a dude that runs around.
I've always liked Spinner.
I know, because Spinner he's a dude that's like kind of in over his head, but at the same time, his options were basically keep getting shit on because he couldn't get any like real job opportunities in his area and just live a miserable life because the area around him that's what they wanted for him, unless he managed to be a pro gamer.
And he didn't join for this.
Yeah,
and he didn't join for this.
But I always felt like of all the League of Villains, not of all, I mean Compress is also in this category, but of all the main League of Villains characters, there's a certain madness involved, right, which makes it very difficult to see their reasoning as reasonable and as correct, because they are just so obsessed with it and so mad and insane almost, that it's kind of difficult to grasp the actual real reasoning behind it. And with Spinner, it's just that he doesn't seem like that. He seems like he actually has a rational view on things, and is very reasonable compared to the others.
Yeah, how do I raise my hand? I don't know how to do that, and I keep talking over people. Sorry about that.
Just click the more to the right.
There's look down at the bottom of the screen. There should be a tab that says more. When you click on it for you, it'll have like the action to raise your hand.
Okay, I see a clapping symbol. Oh, raise hand. Got it. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Can I speak for Spinner real quick because I'm about to go on mute for a minute.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, I'm living this shitty ass life. Like, none of y'all niggas know what it's like to step outside. I can't even step outside, bro. I gotta stay inside my fucking house 24/7, do nothing but play video games. My goals, my dreams, my ambition, that shit don't matter, because why would I dream about something I could never fucking have ever in my life? I can't have anything. There's no happiness waiting at the end of the tunnel for me. I'm not lying. You might have a bunch of different conditions, like, bro, I'm literally the definition of built different. My dreams and aspirations don't matter. So why would I even fathom anything besides living in the mud and burying myself in video games and fantasy land? That shit is pathetic existence to even fucking live, to talk about, bro. That shit is depressing. Like, that shit is hard. That shit is a hard life to live. So I really sympathize with that thing. It's like, bro, this nigga, and it is, he questions, you know, when he said he felt empty, and even now he still feels really empty. So he devoted himself to Shiggy. But when he's talking about staying, he's like, bro, I don't feel shit. It's like, I'm just a fucking costume wearing motherfucker. I'm cosplaying. But I wanted to feel something, because that's the first time in my life I actually felt something real and touched my soul.
Yeah, I love that.
So that shit hit, dog. And it's really, he really one of the best rated characters underwhelmingly. Because even when they roll my Pussycats, bro, can you imagine your entire life you're subjugated to call a freak and nobody even looks at you? But the one time, one of the baddest girls you ever met in your life messes with your mind and flirts with you. I see his reaction, bro. That nigga was taken off guard. And now when I think about his whole story, I'm like, bro, that shit's fucking sad, dog.
Yeah, no, like
I never thought about that. Yeah.
It's like that meme where it's like the compliment that a boy got when he was 5, and he's storing it in the like core memories. It's that meme. That's like the first time somebody says something nice to him, and who knows how long. Because one of the other things to point out is that if you remember what Horikoshi said, he's like, Spinner's entire family has lizard quirks, and he's got the worst one. So even in his own family, like some of his own siblings probably like shit on him every now and then, just because like they need to feel good about themselves, and they'll probably make him the lightning rod in the punching bag. But when they feel like shit from going out in the streets, or don't talk to them, or like one of my guys was talking about how his dad has never once offered to help him move, like, but his brother is moving, and he was like, and his brother lives in St. Louis. We're in Wisconsin. And his dad was like, oh yeah, do you need me to come down there and help you move like ASAP? Or like they caught his brother smoking when they were younger, like with cigarettes, and they punished his brother. And then like when it came time for him, like, and he got caught with cigarettes, it was like whatever. They just didn't care because his dad just never actually cared that much about him. So you could literally have a situation in which Spinner is probably like the family black sheep, and he's been ostracized in society. So of course he's just sitting in his room playing video games. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, what else is he gonna do? Like, nobody out there is invested in him like that.
No.
Spinner the GOAT, basically, is what we're saying, y'all. That's all you need to know.
Something I kind of. Oh, first of all, what's up, boys? But I wanted to chime in a little bit on something. One of the things that I took from this conversation was that I really wish that Horikoshi does dive deeper into this, quirk discrimination, like more into it, because like we see glimpses of it, but we don't get I want like a full arc. And I might not get it because the story right now is dealing with bigger things.
I think he will because he promised a Shoji arc, and what's Shoji's whole thing?
Shoji literally hides his face because he's worried about like all this discrimination and stuff.
Yeah, and then when he fought Pony, that was brought up. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you promised it, then that's all the best. But literally my favorite thing about My Hero Academia is the parallels that Horikoshi draws between this world and our world. Right. For example, he brought up the KKK reference with the
CRC.
cold, pretty much. Yeah. It's always there's always like a parallel between the two, like between ours and our world and their world. Like the provisional license exam, you need to get your permit before you get your license, right? It's just everything just makes sense, and it always makes this world feel more real than it actually is, right? And it's something that, and if Horikoshi did say that we're going to get a Shoji arc, then I'm all in for it. But
he said specifically he wanted to do one, and the thing is that where he is career-wise right now, I can't see us not getting it.
Okay,
who gonna stop him?
Exactly. Hey, to point out what you said, Flo, in Vigilantes, they touched on that too. Like there was somebody that got mutated from one of the trigger things, and they mutated his body, and he couldn't go back to the way he was before. He was like a mantis, and then it was like, they kind of don't accommodate for people like us, and like that have different sets of like body parts and like proportions and stuff. Like bless you, whoever sneezed. And it's like they don't accommodate to us, and like that shit's the real thing. Like, bro, somebody's like 10 foot. Just based off the quirk, they don't accommodate to them. And this dude's like, I'm living in a fucking warehouse because nobody really, I got fucked over and nobody's helping me out. I just got screwed, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, and the other thing is that they specifically talked about how like a lot of those people who are in that situation specifically are like poor. Like that's the whole reason why Eraserhead had no problems with Koichi being a vigilante, because even though it's illegal, he's still a pragmatist, and he was like, nah, like this area is already underserved. They get more benefit out of Koichi existing and being here than they would get out of me arresting him when the government isn't funding heroes in this area. The government is not investing in what this area needs to have. So why would I like stop him from being here when these people still need help? What does that do? What does that solve? You know what I mean?
Nada.
Let's see what the chat's saying. Yeah, okay. So yes, it was also like some modifications from the factory. Like the thing is that some of the people were having issues going back and forth though. And there were people who ended up in general like fucked over by the damage. And yep, see, I'm glad to see people are like appreciating it. But let's see. I will next. You feel like Spinner will be the next Twice after the time skip, and Heroes will have the chance to save him? That
I would like that, because I think Spinner of all the characters just seems the most savable of all the League of Legends.
What
do you mean by savable?
I actually kind of disagree with that, because he might be the less egregious and the one who seems like he's the follow the most, but he's also the most loyal. So I feel like he's the least savable.
Yeah, I can see the.
I think
so long as go on.
So what I would say is also that is concerning is that of all of them, he actually has the best reason to be upset. Because like, yes, Shigaraki is upset because Nana did what she did, that messed up his family. Because his dad never healed properly, ended up abused, quirk manifested, pushes him to be destructive. He has like that compulsion. Toga, wired, built different. Twice.
Nigga had to throw that in there. I knew it.
Twice just got like, and the thing I like about Twice is actually that he got screwed over not by his quirk completely, but moreover, he got screwed over by society before his quirk screwed him over. It was because he got desperate, because he was alone, because he got isolated, that he felt like he needed to do all that stuff. So,
well, he's the most tragic for sure.
But like at the end of the day, he could have like still tried to get other jobs. But this also kind of ties into culture, and like even this is like like a reference to like real world stuff here, where a lot of felons have issues getting jobs after they're let out of jail.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
And so like you go to jail, you serve your time, you come out, you try to make it a place nobody wants to hire you. All of a sudden, somebody on the block still got some work they need handled. You end up having to pick up the job. All of a sudden, it's a setup. You right back in there.
Well, and also if someone looks at you,
I agree. Sorry.
I was just gonna say if someone looks at you, I was just gonna say if someone looks at your record and they see, oh, you ran someone over with your motorcycle, and your first step is, well, it's not what it sounds like. So like, you're gonna look like you're some violent guy. And also, people always say that they don't like his face, which I understand because he's got that like weird like
eyebrow, like what's going on up there type vibe.
Well, it's not even just that though. It's like when you are kind of fucked over by society before you've done anything wrong, you really do feel like the only thing you really can't do is turn to crime.
And like a great example of this is the California firefighting prisoners.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure even like say as you've heard about how California catches on fire like every summer basically.
Yeah.
We have entire platoons. We have entire platoons of firefighters that go and combat these fires. They get paid like $2 an hour and they are prisoners. When they get out of prison, they are not eligible to be firefighters.
That's actually been changed. They actually signed that into law recently.
They finally signed that into law. Good. But like think about that.
That's effed up.
For decades. Go fight this fire. You are a prisoner. You have to go do this anyway.
Back to prison.
Oh yeah. No, if it wasn't for the racial agitations in this country, they probably would still be only doing make $2 an hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like that's what was going on there. Like that's why like old cartoons have this joke where like you see prisoners at assembly lines making license plates and stuff, and now it's like, well, that's not exactly funny. That's literally just factory work that we're just pawning off on prisoners. Like. And they get no compensation. They're not going to get like fast track to a job afterwards to make sure they stay functional and can afford to live in society. Your bank accounts get frozen anyway. So it's not like you have money like that. So shit, like I don't even know how Twice could have like something like it. And Japan is just as bad, if not worse culturally with handling criminals. As at least when they like do hard stuff, like when they get hard confirmed as bad guys, it's like over. You're scum. Like
I've actually never looked up the fucking culture against
they're at least as bad. Like they're literally just at least as bad as us. Like at minimum with how they treat their criminals post the prison. It's one of those issues. Yeah.
I need to look that up. That sounds interesting.
It's just messed up. Like that's just how it works. Like you fall into crime and then like people decide that you are just a bad person, defined by that forever.
Well, yeah, because it's an endless cycle. Because of the fact is, it's supposed to be you pay your time and then you get reintegrated into society. But instead, it's actually more once you pay your time, you're never going to be reintegrated in society. It's meant to just throw you right back into the system and have it be an endless cycle forever.
Because we have a for-profit prison system. Not to mention, this is also because it allows for inflation of congressional districts so that you can move prisoners to certain areas so that those become more viable. And then it gives you more electoral votes in your area. That's why you have like a stockpile of prisons. That's why you notice like none of the major, like no matter how many like big crimes people commit, almost all the prisons are in the boonies for like two reasons. One, even though that gives it worse security. One, because it'll inflate those areas. Two, because like literally that's all that matters, because it gives them more votes. It's a form of redlining and like structuring it so that you can create false presence in other areas. It's basically the 3/5 compromise in real time.
Oof.
Which
but I do think we're getting too a little bit into that.
I didn't know we were trying to get woke on this stream. I would have picked out my foe. I would have my black brothers and sisters, man. And we gonna talk about the Patriot. I'm just fucking.
I mean, shit, you want to talk about the Patriot Act? We can talk about how Hawks is the Patriot Act. Hawks is the Patriot Act.
Fuck that nigga.
Nah, but pretty much everything you said is very true. We didn't get rid of slavery. We just moved it. We just like, all right, we just hit it better.
Yeah, like it's even coded in the language of the amendment. But
the 13th, of course.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to say something. If Spinner would have changed sides, that was spitting everything they've been through until now. Like that shit is everything they've been through would have spit in his face, in the entire face of everything they've been through right until now.
Yeah. That was my thing. I was like, the thing about Spinner is that while he might be the least like fucked up person in the group, he's also fucking the most loyal. So that I never see him switching, unless of course the only way I could see Spinner switching is if Shigaraki switched up on him.
Yeah, because he only betrayed like Stain's ideals because he couldn't enact on them. Like he couldn't act on them, and he was just stuck where he was. So he was like you said, he's an empty cosplayer. So if something happens with Shigaraki to where he doesn't feel like there's anything worth following in terms of like giving him hope or inspiration, then he might look for something else, which is just an arc that Spinner needs to go through where he just needs to find something that makes him happy, that is like healthy. So I'm interested to see if he ever finds it.
I don't feel like he wants to though, because
have we read that? Oh, you got it.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I read that part of MVA. He was talking about I devoted everything to Shigaraki.
I know.
To me, I don't feel like it's necessarily him needing to find something healthy. I feel like he finds this to be something that makes him feel fulfilled. It's just it's just the type of shit he likes. He's a fucking
but Aniki mentioned it. Just because something feels right doesn't mean it's good.
Of course. But I'm saying that's the thing. It's just a part of it.
Depends on how good it feels, bro.
That's just the type of fucking lives they've come to live.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got blood on. He got blood on his hands. So
I don't want him to switch. I'm just saying. Yeah. No, I get
you.
Yeah.
When I said that I could imagine him switching, I didn't mean this in like a mid of the series, changing sides, working for the heroes, but more in a. I think if you're thinking about a resolution for the League of Villains, I don't see a world in any which way in society could change. I don't think there could be a way in which society could reasonably change, which would, for example, be okay for Shigaraki or Dabi or Toga, because I don't think they have any society in mind which would be right for them. So for them, I only see in the end the hard end. They either win and get nowhere, or they lose and get nowhere. Because I don't think there is any way society can shift which will change it in a manner that would make them satisfied. But with Spinner, I think there is, because it's precisely as Aniki said. I think he has probably the most reason to do what he does. And also the reason he has is, I think, of all of them, most entrenched in society. Like the others is always a mix of person and society, but with him it's very much just society, which means to him I feel like this is the one where maybe society could shift in a way that would be reasonable for him. I don't see this for the others. Like, I could see them die just as or end up in prison or not shift sides. But I feel like that there might be a solution for him, and I don't see a solution for the others.
I don't feel like the league can like properly be indoctrinated into society. I do, however, think that they can build a world where there would never have to be another league.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent new versions of them from
because like they're too far gone. These motherfuckers are way too far gone to be able to come back into society properly. But I do think that we'll be able to make it to where there won't be no more quirk discrimination. It won't be no more like, oh, you're too fucking weird for me, fuck off. No, there won't be none of that no more. But in terms of them, they're just done.
I like to say two things real quick. And the fact that Aniki, you'll like the second part. I feel like y'all have a good discussion with this. But the first one is that I see one of the league getting away. Either he escapes or he dies. Most likely the latter of escaping. Yeah. When shit get like to the last bit. Compress, I have no clue. But either Dabi or Spinner escaping, or like Spinner just like going away.
I see Dabi dying. Like end of series, Dabi. I see Dabi dying. Yeah. Only because he died. Somebody. Mostly because I see his quirk as like an eventual time bomb. Like it just the damage it does to him over time. Unless he gets a quirk to like offset that or gets modified in a way that his body can finally handle the blue flame. I think he just eventually slowly corrodes himself into death, and it just like gets sick and dies. which would make him the Itachi of My Hero Academia. And not
I was just about to say that shit.
Spinner, I think, can get captured. One of the things that I think is worth noting is that My Hero Academia is a flashback, and of course we got Deku narrating, but I kind of like the idea of Spinner either being in prison or being fresh out, and like it being kind of like a flashback or a special where it turns out he wrote a book about his time in the league. And so like that's how he like makes his come up ultimately. So like
but that would be kind of what I meant with that he could turn around and be like after prison. That's something I could see for Spinner.
Yeah, it would be like he wrote a book in prison, and instead of it being like this is how we should revolutionize and like putting that out there like how Destro did, it would be like I wrote this book in prison. Look at me. Let me go on this tour. Let me talk about this. Let me shed light on these things.
Oh, so you're saying he's gonna go and they're gonna take him on fucking CNN and have him talk about his new book?
Talk about his book, because like the reality, it'll be controversial, right? But people will buy it. So then they'll be like, fuck, I want the ratings.
Well, hopefully nobody wants to kill John Lennon after they read it.
Well, and it would be really cool. It'd be really cool if also like, he wrote that book and he comes out and it's just this nice moment where he can actually see the fruits of what a Deku society has created. Maybe it is a little better, just a little bit.
All the grass is greener on the other side.
Well, and I would
no. I mean, like if he's yeah, go on.
What I would like is if Deku himself was like the one who kind of like advocated for him getting that platform after like reading the book instead of, because like Hawks was passing out these books, and I think that we need Deku in order to be a hero. He needs to be looking like for everyone and for them to save people and like be there for society as a whole. They need to be willing to look into and investigate these and explore these ideas that maybe certain aspects of society are flawed, and they need to be willing to confront that. So like we need Shoto to realize, hey, just because the police chief is a dog does not mean you get to call him a mutt.
Yeah. still one of the funniest but messed up moments.
And you know what? Hold on, somebody about to talk, or what can I go?
I mean, they are dogs anyway. Fuck them.
Okay, hey. Speaking of that, Aki. Speaking of which, that is the kids need a fucking wake up call for everything. So this exposition of Hero Society, I think that this will actually be the perfect time for that quirk, for the Shoji arc, essentially like bringing him because it's not the. Depending on how the villains take over and whatnot, the heroes are gonna be in the back for this entire time. So I can see them going to some more remote locations or getting split up, stuff like that, and them having to take the time to ask the questions or like experience Shoji went through this and that and the other.
Yeah, because like I've said, I don't think that because I was talking to East about this. It's like, we all say like, oh, they're gonna go to America. You don't just like get on a boat and just like drive across the pond to America. There's like other places around, and also, so I'm just like, I think when we thought of that, we thought like, oh, like the war starts and we like escape immediately, but you'd have to either get on a plane or you'd have to secure all the relevant characters. So I actually don't think we're leaving Japan. I think that because like I've said a few times, Shigaraki can't just obliterate Hero Society with decay, because then Hero Society didn't actually collapse. A bomb just fell on it, and that means nothing. So you actually have to have Dabi come in and make the speech that actually gets the citizens and the people of Hero Society to want to defend themselves with their own quirks. You need to bring up things like Stain, where people are like, no, these heroes really are dogs of the state and they're not doing it for us or whatever. You really have to have you have to have the parents of the kids be like, no, you are not going back to UA. You don't even get to be a hero. You're just a child now. They used you as child soldiers. We're not doing this. So, and I think it would make a lot of sense if we don't leave Japan, because we're here for Japan Hero Society anyway. So if we go to America, we have to set up a whole new society and rules. We have to set up new characters, new locations. So I think it would work better if we stay in Japan, and with all this chaos and anarchy and people using their quirks and stuff, people like the Creature Rejection Clan can come back, and then we can address things like Shoji or other characters and things that they deal with in society. And that's when the kids get their wake up call. It's not that we take them out of their original cushy situation of UA and then we just take them over to America and they get to stay in another cushy situation and heal up. So that's what I think anyway.
There's just one thing. There's just one thing about that, right? So, like, for the most part, I agree with everything you just said. And I can see in a way that Horikoshi can go into that direction. The only thing that needs to be left answered is that if Deku stays in Japan, then Shigaraki should have nothing to stop to like hunt him down to get his quirk, right? So that's the
he needs
only...
to go into a pot again and heal.
I can write for that. I can
advocate for that one. You can say that, but go on.
I can advocate for that one. Well, real quick, I'll bring out that second point later. And we don't. Well, once again, every quirk has a limit, no matter how strong it appears to be. Even Old Clock had it looked OP as fuck, but it did have some limitations. So easily enough, we could write limitations into like, okay, imagine this: Horikoshi plays Tenchi Jets all the time, right? He already foreseen this shit coming ahead of time. He didn't just like, okay, let me give him Ragdoll. Okay, now he can see Deku right then and there. He set this up prior to since Camino. I'm pretty sure he knew he was going to do this shit since Camino, right? So think if your Horikoshi is that you set this up pre ahead of time. Every quirk has a limit. We don't know the limits or specifics of Ragdoll's quirk because we never really kind of needed to. At this case in point, we could always set up a limiter if they get away. Because right now, they're friend to split up, and Shigaraki's not going to be able to pursue for plot reasons and other reasons. He's not going to be pursuit right there. So if we do split half of Japan here, half of Japan there, and Shigaraki and them go, we're over here, we're not hiding, we're just chilling over here before whatever happens next. And then you guys are over here. He can't, if he can't, like, let's see the visual limitation with it, he can't physically see Deku. You know, he can't find him like that. So that builds up more time into the wait. And then, Shigaraki be like, all right, I can wait more time and this, that, and the other.
And I think it has to have a line of sight. Yeah, I think it has to have a line of sight just simply because if you're a Ragdoll and you can't, like, if it's not something where she can go like, all right, list delete, then that means like she's sitting in her bed and she like looks to the left and there's like 6 stars of the UA kids all the way at UA somewhere. It's like, man, I really need to delete them off the list. You know,
see, like, and that's the thing is that personally, if you remember, it said she can like look at up to 100 people. I think that's her limit. I think when she looks at more targets and uses it, it like pushes whoever's on the list off.
Yeah.
So like Shigaraki's gonna be stuck having to decide: do I want to fight? Like when he's fighting people, do I want to use my scan quirk and start deleting files, or do I want to like keep going? And he might not even know that. So that would be what I think would be the way to get around that is to have him not know that is how it works, and then that's how Deku and them can like stay further away for a while. Is like him scanning other opponents throughout, and then being like, "Oh shit, I lost that data." Fuck.
We also, I think, don't know to which extent he learns these quirks. Like, I assume like Ragdoll has trained with her quirk for years and went to UA, I think. So maybe she initially just had like 5 people that she could track throughout one city. I don't know. And then evolved her quirk to 100 people. And I don't know if Shigaraki now can use the quirk at whatever stage Ragdoll was able to use it. Like if he can use it on 100 people, or if he can if he has a limit that Ragdoll didn't have anymore.
No, it has a 100 limit. You want to know why? I just figured out why. You ready for this? Because most video games only let you have 100 save files.
You think that's it?
Think about how the quirk is. Think about how this entire character has been built.
This is so stupid. I love it.
Yeah, but that sounds like something he'd do.
You can only have 100 save files, my guy.
Yeah, but is it something he has from the start, like without training it much, or does he have to?
He said this quirk came with a gift, which was the data on the previous user had collected. So the only reason why he has the information on the UA students is because Ragdoll had searched them before.
Well, that's nifty.
Okay, let me. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all discuss this one. I just thought of the idea. So how about instead of everybody saying, so how about we flip it on his head, which is what I believe Horikoshi would do. Instead, think about Aniki. You love political and stuff like that. And you love diving into this. So realistically, what does America tend to do? Like, or what is bigger countries tend to do? They tend to aid smaller countries, countries that ally with. So instead of us going to America, and bringing the problems over here, how about what if we brought America into Japan? So we brought not too many characters, but enough special forces to like, okay, we're sending soldiers you guys' way to aid you during this time of need. So instead of us bringing a whole fucking like 200 new characters, you bring like 20, you learn like 20 more heroes, prevalent like top tier heroes into the side of like onto the side of Japan. And then the villains, because the villains are going to be getting people. Villains are going to bring people from all over the world. Like, oh shit, this kind of utopia society. I'm fucking with Japan right now. It's kind of chaos. Let's get them moving here. So, because I'm pretty sure they're not going to stay stagnant. So let's bring it in.
As a dude who the one time I took the time to like structure an OC around like MHA, 100%, like the thing would have been like he had gravity powers. He would have been willing to teach the students, and the reason why he would have been a tryhard is because All Might left America, and the crime rate shot up. So he would have been like, I can't replace All Might, but I'm gonna fuck all you up in the process because somebody still got to fold all these niggas. So that would have been like his logic. But like, that to me, people going there instead of risking bringing their problems there is probably going to be more rational, and that's why. Like I was like American style helicopter, we're getting Captain Celebrity. No, it's Genius. Still payoff, but I would love for Captain Celebrity to just pull up.
Well, the thing about it is that
I've seen people talking about the beginning of the chapter.
Yeah,
I've seen people say some things, and then what did they say? They've been implying that, oh man, this is unrealistic. Why haven't they gotten reinforcements from other countries? I'm like, even if that was the case, I think that's kind of goofy in my eyes. I'm like, this shit's been going on for what, an hour? Maybe less than an hour? How the fuck would they have gotten there?
Oh yeah, no,
here
they would have to pull up later.
Not here. Yeah.
Yeah, like no, like I feel like if there's a second wave, yeah, they probably show up, but it ain't gonna be no time soon. But but on the topic of him, like other heroes coming to Japan instead of them going to America, there would be kind of a reason for them to leave though, because Shigaraki can find him wherever the fuck he's at. So it's like, but they're gonna have to go somewhere.
I also don't know if I like the idea of all the students getting to go to the same place.
Oh,
that feels like a little. That feels like a little too convenient. Like,
I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't see the purpose of the rest of the students leaving anyway. Like I'm not seeing the reason yet.
Maybe we just get rid of Deku and we focus on the students, and then we focus on Deku later.
Yeah,
I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with that.
I could see that because
I'd be cool with that.
There's literally no reason for the rest of the students to leave in the first place. Like, I know.
Well, and Deku, where's he gonna heal? Yeah, where's he gonna heal? So we ship him on a plane, and his little body's like, no, I can fight. One for all, headbutt. And then we ship him off, and then everyone's just stuck in Japan.
And Bakugo becomes the new team leader.
I don't really know how Bakugo's doing at the moment.
In his wheelchair? Yeah.
Anyway, I think
Professor X.
I like the idea of Deku. If anybody leaves, it should be only Deku, because I don't think the heroes going to America or anywhere would be viable, because they do still have the job of protecting the civilians. And unless they want to evacuate all of Japan, they can't just all go and leave.
So we're forcing Deku to save himself.
And the same goes for heroes coming from other countries to America. Like, I don't think you can just ship all the top heroes of America to Japan, because you just leave America and defend it, right? So
they'd be following committing the same mistake that Japan made. But at the same time, I say that the only thing I can see happening is I can only see the big three going with him. The only thing, like, not the previous big, I mean the current one.
Yeah, the small group of people, maybe.
Yeah, like fucking
Bakugo
and Todoroki. Bakugo and Todoroki, I can't see.
I don't mean they sending they top 10, but they sending decent to relevant, like good enough heroes.
I could see like I don't know, 5 countries sending 3 heroes each or something like that, but not like a massive army pulling up.
Like I do think we need. I do think if we're going to enter what the fans probably would consider the part 2 of My Hero, we're gonna need new characters. So I don't really have a problem with them introducing a fuck ton of new people.
I don't know. Do we need new characters, or do we? Well, we need.
I don't think so.
I'm not necessarily,
I don't need new characters.
Need new characters. I'm saying it's just a staple for second half of the series.
So like anybody that's relevant. So they have to have a purpose.
Well, of course. I mean, you know where it doesn't introduce irrelevant ass niggas. But I'm simply saying, like every fucking series that has a second makes it to a second half, or like what they consider a part 2, typically has new characters. Kind of like with Tokyo Ghoul 2, they did that too. Introduced a whole bunch of new characters.
One Piece. That fucking Grand Fleet didn't have those.
One Piece don't count because they introduced new characters. They introduced new characters every arc.
You're right.
That doesn't.
Yeah, that's not a good example.
Yeah, that's just consistent.
But I think something else Horikoshi could do is, instead of introducing a shit ton of new characters, really dig deep on the ones we have. Like, we have talked about Shoji, who we don't really know much about. He's been since the start, but we don't know much about him. So we could also just focus more on the characters we already have, plus adding a few more characters. Yeah. But there is enough we have to explore about the characters we still have, and we already have. That we don't.
I'm not saying. Saying it's something that it's in my personal opinion. This is what we need to do. I'm saying that's just kind of how it works.
Yeah.
At least I haven't seen a series that doesn't do that.
I mean, he could easily like it don't have to overshadow, or you don't have to give a whole new backstory. Like I was like before the time skip even comes, we'll be focusing on the kids primarily too, and society after this. So it's like before the time skip even comes, we'll have the development, and then the new people don't overshadow them or nothing. Like it's just like okay, they're on the sidelines. It's like I'll give an example, like the prime time at the Shiggy at the doctor's laboratory. Miracle's like, China, let's say let's give that to let's say Kaminari's going in, right? Or let's say Ojiro's going in. And then later on other people could show up too. It's just like people that's there. Like who Crust is, other people like President Mike and Azawa, they're going in, like people just there on the sidelines too. Like those what they can be.
I don't know if now that I think about it, I don't know if Shota would leave the country.
I mean,
yeah, that takes him away from his family and Dabi.
Yeah, especially with Rei now supposedly living alone.
Yeah, his mom.
He could reconnect with his mom, so leaving the country would be weird.
Well, it really just depends on the circumstances that even lead them to do this in the first place. That's really all it's dependent on. Because if I had it my way, the only person that would be going with him is fucking Odarika.
Yeah, I think her and All Might, and maybe like if they could snag his mom, it's like, please bring my mom, don't leave her in the destroyed city.
I'm saying that's the only. If I had it my way, the only person that would be going with him is fucking Odarika.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of which, Ian, I'll let you bring up your 3 points.
Oh, I mean, I've talked about them before, so I can just rattle them off real quick. I think there's 3 climaxes coming for Uraraka's development up from this point. Like every little thing that's been built up, I think, is going to get kind of paid off here or in the Fallout arc from this. Mm-hmm. So right now, I think Uraraka 100% is going to get a W here with Uraraka. With Toga. I do not think that Horikoshi can afford emotionally from the audience to be like, don't worry, guys, she'll like accomplish something eventually, we promise. And I know she did stuff in joint training, but I mean in terms of like in the field, especially with him understanding that an overhaul arc that the girls kind of just got put to the side. So we get here. Uraraka's going to get her W against Toga, and since we had the spinner scene where he's like, hey Toga, you better totally don't get captured, and then we end the chapter with Uraraka being like, I'm going to capture you. So I think that's going to happen. So that's our first W. 2, we have to pay off the hero who saves heroes. We've already set that up a ton of times with her being like, who saves the heroes? And it's an image of Deku fighting like Overhaul. We had the image of her looking out for Deku whenever he went off to go fight Shigaraki. So that's going to get paid off. She's probably going to take his body. And if we need the excuse to like get the guy who has one for all off the island, then there you go. Uraraka's already there. So she has to go with him to protect him if she's the only one there. And then finally, we pay off the romance arc by Deku being like, ugh, one for all headbutt. I'm going to blow my brains out to save people. Ooh. And then Uraraka's like, hey, idiot, maybe people like your mom and me who like really love you would like you to not die. And it's like, oh yeah, that would make sense. And then so you can pay off the romance arc. So
think about his mom more often.
Yeah, he really should. And I appreciate that the story brings up that he doesn't, because I think that's going to come to a head too. So I think those are the 3 payoffs that are coming. So
I like that.
Yeah. Except the only thing about it, that's going to be kind of shitty for Toga if she gets captured unless they break her out.
Well, that's great, because I know where the Toga thing would go in terms of usefulness. Not like where it's going to go, but I just mean like how you use that is because remember, Shigaraki, we all kind of agree that he hates All for One, and he's like, I gotta kill that guy. So, and we need the prison break anyway. So he would go and kill. That's the plot reason to go. Then the second reason is is that they have the doctor, and the last we saw the doctor, he was being put into a police car. You think that guy's going through like criminal justice system? They're sending that guy straight to Tartarus. So we need the doctor so that we can heal Shigaraki. And then finally, we set up that Toga is here, and they're like, Toga, please come back, because Shigaraki cares about us and wants his family. So then he figures out that Twice is dead and Toga's been captured. Now we have the emotional investment, and now we can actually go straight into the prison break arc, because we need to kill my dad, get the doctor, and save my friend.
I mean, they're definitely going to still release Stain too. I know that's going to be good.
Every character in there is coming out. Yeah,
I think that's tantamount for fucking Spinner's development too.
Also,
yeah, but I'm
really curious as to what
Toga getting captured.
What Stain's opinion of all this would be.
That's what I'm most excited for.
So here's the thing, right? The thing that I like about Stain is that, like, and we talked about Stain before here, where yes, he is right. The heroes are very commercial, but he is so wrong in that he doesn't realize that fucking All Might is kind of the reason why Heroes ended up being commercialized. Yes. And he's very hypocritical in the sense that killing heroes doesn't make, like, injuring and maiming heroes does not make society like actually safe. It technically, because like it was like for a temporary, they were like the crime rate goes down in those areas, and I was like, yeah, that's a temporary stopgap. Because the reality is like the criminals that were in that probably also scared of the crazy ass nigga Stain, because Stain was also willing, like, even back in the day, he was willing to kill villains too. So it's not that. So what really more than likely happened is
everyone's scared of Batman.
Yeah, like Stain killed, like, hurt a couple heroes and killed a couple villains, and so like a couple gangs were like, yeah, let me chill.
Also, let's be honest. If a hero comes and kills a bunch of heroes in one city, other heroes would come in to try and catch that villain, meaning the hero activity would probably increase in this area, meaning all the small time villains would probably say, yep, just gonna stay quiet for a week until they're all gone, hunting the Stain in some other country.
Oh, I also need to add that the anime fumbled, by the way.
It's about when they cut the scene out.
Yep.
Of him sitting in
with
the background.
that one little panel that showed Stain in Tartarus is not in the anime at all. So
which
I know. Why did they cut that? Why did they cut the Shinso? Why did they cut the Shinso scenes?
Why did
to build up that he's coming back?
No, yeah, I know, like that. I mean, okay. To be fair, I feel like you can still save that by just doing it when they introduce him and show that he's already been doing this. Yeah, so you can still kind of that, but this one is going to be interesting. It's like, the fuck? I didn't know Sting was here.
Why'd they cut Overhaul's backstory where they talk about how he read the book about quirks being a disease and coming from rats? That seems a little important.
Yeah,
okay,
maybe they'll do that later with the.
To be fair, they did have to adapt 4 chapters in an episode, and that they had to start cutting shit. And I guess they thought, oh, this isn't part of the fight. So
it won't come back.
They didn't have to do that.
It's also something that they can bring now with next season when I assume.
I guess,
but
I guess, but the problem with the Overhaul is how would that work? Because like, how did that? What the fuck? Why the fuck are we talking about Overhaul right now?
So
it's just the go on, Anki, go on.
One of the things that's important to remember also though is that while we're discussing Stain being in prison and like seeing what he's gonna do, and then Overhaul himself isn't gonna know much of this, and I'm kind of curious if there's a reason why Horikoshi told us that Overhaul still has his quirk. And that it changed to accommodate his new body. We don't know what that means or what that's going to do, but that's a random piece of information to include in like the data books. So I'm assuming, like it's nerfed, but it still can do stuff. So like, what was the point of that information? Like, what are we going to get out of Overhaul later that made him feel like I should mention this? Because it's kind of like how he gave Dabi that like A-grade mystery. It's like he's intentionally giving us clues in some of these data books.
It's also like really weird because where would the point of the story be? Because he's definitely not teaming up with the heroes because the heroes wouldn't.
Probably his dad, right?
I mean, he's still in Tartarus.
Yeah,
he still wants to heal his dad.
But that's not something where you need a big story about. You just go into the hospital and heal his dad. That would be it. You don't really need to.
We don't know what that could connect to. Is the thing. Right. But I just mean since it's open. Then I would assume maybe that's it.
I think hypothetically though, if they would have kept his arm, wouldn't this like theoretical shit? Wouldn't he just be able to destroy his arm and just rebuild it?
I mean, sure, but I mean,
that's why it has to.
My question was more so if Horikoshi.
No, I was speaking strictly like I feel like them giving him like a way to still actually use his abilities is kind of stupid.
Yeah, I don't like it if they did it because one, from a story perspective, doesn't kind of take away from Shigaraki's victory that he was like, haha, now you have to sit back and watch forever as blah 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 blah, and I took your hands and you can't use your quirk to do what you want to do. But if it just got fixed somehow, then well, I mean, there goes that.
But it would make sense because it is very similar to how Shigaraki's own quirk evolved, something he might not have been aware of, that the quirk, because it would have been the same for him at that point. If you take his hands, that's it, right? And also if you take like 2 of his fingers,
I'm
that's
fine
it.
With it.
And
perhaps it's just more like I'm very confused.
So it would make sense that he's wrong about it. I mean,
because it's like in theory, he could technically still fix himself to go back to normal.
In theory,
Yeah,
seemingly.
cool.
But only if he
how
still
it's
has his
changed.
quirks, and then I mean,
I told you he's using his big toe. He's using his big toe from now on, dog. I don't know what y'all here.
Depending on how,
Overhaul gonna be barefooted every time you see the nigga from now on.
Yeah,
Oh.
depending on
Tip of
how
his
it's
nose.
been modified. Yeah, depending on how it's been modified, I'll be interested to see. But I hope Horikoshi doesn't undermine that Shigaraki scene.
Yeah, I hope they didn't fix it, because if they fix it, that probably would, that'd be dumb as hell if you ask me. I can't rationalize why the fuck they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot, like also, like we talked about how muscular kind of has to, like we kind of, because everybody who's in Tartarus has viability, right?
Yeah.
So there's a whole gamut of criminals, like even OG criminals, people who got put away by All Might, we have the potential of running into here. So for me, I feel like what ends up happening to a certain degree, because when we talked about the country being split, if you think about it, if you take the Paranormal Liberation Front and their biggest like commanders, you got like Redestro and you got Giten and all these people, they go grab, basically Shigaraki kind of gets to pull a Blackbeard here. Yeah, I'll free you, but y'all figure out who's actually gonna make it. And I think that could end up being like how we kind of introduce some new characters, but then we also have justification for why we don't have to deal with like hundreds of new villains and like all these other story arcs that like technically should be viable, because you have to kind of narrow it down so we can be like, all right, so this is why, because not every person in Tartarus, even if they did commit a crime, is going to be that worthwhile as a villain. Ending is going to go back to Tartarus. Does Ending have enough value to be brought into the Paranormal Liberation Front? No. So throw that nigga in the ring with Muscular and a couple of other villains and like watch them duke it out.
it might also be actually a good way to give Shigaraki like another power up after this, because it could just be like a all for one quirk buffet.
Yeah, it could just be him walking through there like stealing quirks left and right. I'm not saying that that's not also like on the table. It's just like, even if the only reason I could see him stealing Overhaul though is if he wanted to get his fingers back, which would be funny to me. Like that'd be a very small and petty reason, but I
mean, it is a strong quirk. Why wouldn't he want it?
Yeah, well, because he hates Overhaul. That's why I could see him not wanting it.
That's a...
Yep, that's right. Rappa could come back, though. I don't think
that's what I need. I need that.
I mean, he has to come back because they built up that they're going to fight again. So.
Yeah, and I think he would more or less just get one shot by Shiggy, and that would be how he was like, all right, cool, I guess I'll like follow you until I eventually get strong enough.
Ooh,
so Shigaraki goes over to Overhaul, takes his power, does the thing that Overhaul did to him, brings him back, and then he's like, all right, we did it. Because that's the only way you can fight Shigaraki and live.
I mean,
I was like, because I couldn't see a way for him, or not way, a reason for Shiggy to not kill this nigga off rip.
I mean, Rappa was involved with Overhaul's operation, but he wasn't actually a friend of Overhaul.
Oh no. It has not. I don't say that for any reason to do with Overhaul. It's more about if this nigga was like, "Hey, fight me!" Ah! Yeah, I definitely see him just fucking killing him right off.
So my thing is that one of the things that we've been getting emphasized is like Shigaraki's value of having game pieces, and I think we've gotten to a point where he knows how to value people who he likes and wants to interact with. But MBA, to a certain degree, was him coming to learn how to utilize people he doesn't necessarily know or care for, and like still making it a point to have a cordial and political relationship, because that's kind of where the bag like went wrong with Overhaul, even though Overhaul came in mad disrespectful. To the same degree though, like Shigaraki could have been like, nah, fuck you, killed Redestro, killed everybody, and instead he was like, you got money to burn, right? So in this case, he could be like, yes, Rappa is an idiot. Yes, he just wants to box me. But all right, now go do that to other people for me. And maybe I'll let you get a fight later. You know what I mean?
I would love that because I love Rappa. So
I don't think Horikoshi would kill Rappa off like that. I think if Rappa's last battle, I feel like has to be with Red Riot again.
Yeah, because they built it up.
Has to happen.
I kind of want at least a group of these prisoners to not go to the league, not go to the heroes either, but just get their own group going.
Or just like they're just like anarchy. Like I feel like Muscular would come out and be like, "Hey, so did you guys create anarchy yet?" And he's like, "Yeah, definitely." And he's like, "Dude, I'm leaving. Bye." So that's all he wanted. He just wanted to fight people, and now it's late. Now it's fine.
Oh, I was actually talking to somebody about this on Twitter where I was like, you say there's not a lot of foreshadowing, but the reality is that Muscular was like the ideal Paranormal Liberation Front character that kind of let you know that there were people out there that just wanted to rampage, use their quirks how they saw fit. And even if you think back to like some of his dialogue, he was basically like, I wanted to go on a rampage with my quirk. They wanted to go on a rampage. They wanted to stop me with theirs. It was the clash of two quirks, mine won. That's how simplistically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What? I can go.
I think he literally says, I have like an itch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like, what? Like, I can go do what I want to do now? All right, bet. And
heck yeah. Yeah, he just does it.
And that's why, like, Muscular versus Deku, like, if we get a round 2 of that, it just has to be Deku beat the shit out of the guy. Like, it can't be a philosophical dialogue. That's not who Muscular is. That's nothing you have, like, no conversation you have with that man is going to change anything. His goal is to flex on niggas with his muscles. It's that simple.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, he's not trying to make friends. He's not trying to change the world. He just wants to punch someone in the face.
He you know, he's Denji. He wants to have a dream battle, and his dream won because he killed you.
Like, and does that make sense all the time? No. Does it make sense most of the time?
But
no.
But you dead, so you can't argue it. Yeah, like, you're dead, so you can't argue it.
Who's gonna pull up saying these hands is rated E for everyone?
Basically, like.
And by that I mean my legs.
You mean the Black Whip tendrils? Because
you mean the best quirk in the series?
Yes. Best quirk? Ooh.
Yes, I found that to be the most interesting fucking quirk in the series. Surprising.
Black Whip is one that I really do love.
Okay, why? I just want to know why.
Because I used to slander all the time, and now I think that shit's the most versatile, one of the most versatile fucking abilities in the series.
The thing that I like about Black Whip is because it's an energy whip and not just tape or anything like that. So it's not like a decay thing. It's not like a fluid. It's not anything like that. He's got like this black energy that he can use and move reinforcement. It works very much like a symbiote, and like he can coat his arm to like be a little more durable. It's a really flexible quirk, and I see why that's why it was given to him first. And it still only really makes him a bit more like Spider-Man.
Yeah, because the thing can use to capture. It can be used to swing. It can be used to fucking like enhance your durability. It can be used to turn you into a fucking giant rage monster.
Like,
yeah, love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's kind of cool because whenever it was raging out, I was just gonna say, when it was raging out the first time, I went back to the joint training arc. We already saw that it could come out of his head because it was coming out of his eye whenever he was trying to stop it. So whenever he goes rage mode Black Whip in this arc, like that was already set up that it could happen, which is neat.
Okay, I'm gonna address something in the chat real quick. If we get Rappa versus Muscular, that needs to at least be its own fight for a chapter.
Yes,
that would be so tough.
And it would also just be like Smash Fest with no real story.
It would just be
relevance.
No,
it'd be the epitome of fan service.
It would just be fan service.
Definitely be story. There could definitely be story like because like the League of Villains always has turmoil within it. There's always fighting amongst it, so that could just be one of the things like that. Like when integrating the what's it called, like different factions. Because isn't Rappo with what's his name?
He was with the Chie Saikai, yeah.
Yeah, so I could see.
But he didn't like them. But he doesn't care.
No, I could see it make sense within the story, and I could see it happen within the stories in the sense of like that them battling them out for the 10 free spots in the League of Villains. But still showing it would just be fan service if he showed it to more than just like one panel. Here they fought.
If it was for a panel, I'd be mid as fuck. No, they need to duke it out. Yeah, no, it definitely would be fan service. But you know what? Every series needs a little bit of fan service.
Like the most fan servicey thing that Horikochi's ever done in terms of fight is the Mirko versus 4 monsters, and even then he had to hold himself back and just make it 1 chapter. Like that's the only time I could think of where like you just have a hero fight. It's just like, oh, fight. There's no like Mirko's backstory about she was an orphan. There's no like, oh man, I knew this Nomu, or there's no like anything like that. It's just hands or feet, I guess, in this sense. And then it's over. And that's the chapter. And even then, Horikochi's like, man, I wish I could do this more, but I got a story to tell.
You reminded me of something, Ian. So I've heard a take, and it's not even a negative take. It's just for something people were hoping for. They were saying that they think that Hori should do fucking. They wish Hori did longer fights like old series used to do, and now he's finally done that with the Shiggy one. And I've seen two different responses to this. I think people say this shit's dragging. Just end this shit already. And people saying this is so fucking awesome. I love it. So which side are you on that one? Do y'all think that he should stick to the shorter one?
Absolutely great. No, this is great. All right, go on.
Yeah, go on. I was just gonna say, so for me, with the Shigaraki, okay, I'll go real quick. So with me for the Shigaraki fight, I think it's perfectly fine the way it's been because all it has been is like emotional moments. Like every punch, every attack is laden in to this fight with like a character moment. Like I can't really think. I think the most like actiony, like oh, it's just there to like look really cool, is like when Bakugo comes in and like tricks Shigaraki and does his like giant gauntlet attack. And even then he tied it into Endeavor being like, who cares if I'm not strong enough to fight alone because I have, because I'm not that type of symbol. So like to me, this is like one of the best MHA fights in the whole series because you go like every moment inside the characters' heads and it's all based on character things. The Aizawa chapter is like 1 second in real time basically, but you get to hear his thoughts about like how he wants to like, help Eri. He wants to, he wants to be able to be, help everybody and do all these things. But all that really happens is that Shigaraki goes from one part of the screen to the other, and then Todoroki shows up, and it's like 17 pages. So to me, I think, Shotoroki, I think is what I said. Yeah. So to me, this fight's been great, and even when Deku is just punching him and it's like, oh, it's just hands. He's just punching Shigaraki. It's all laden in with, oh man, but he's destroying himself and here's how Bakugo sees it, blah, 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 blah. So no, this is one of the best MHA fights in terms of how it's building off everything I think that Horikoshi's good at, which is giving character motions and character motivations into the fight. So I don't agree it's dragging.
Well, no, like, and I think the issue is that some people either feel like this is the end of the series for some reason, even though like we keep having all these reveals. That's like, because like, okay, so the thing about like this being like end of series in people's minds that kind of blows my mind is, what do you think the resolution and thematic end note here is if this is the end of the series? Like, what is the point?
Dude, it's not that deep.
Just say you got a D in English and keep going.
Yeah, because that's literally all it comes down to. Because I remember like when Deku, like you have the 2-page spread of him biting Shigaraki's tendrils, and people were hyping that up like, oh man, Deku goes crazy this chapter. I'm like, it's just a spread, that's it, and then he loses. But like because it looks so like raw and crazy, people were either like, oh, this is crazy. But the thing I loved about it was that he just did that. Like that was it. Deku got mad. He ran over there. It was a beautiful 2-page spread. Tag, you're it, and we're done. Like that's it. So Horikoshi's just been pacing it flawlessly, I think.
That couldn't have been said.
My view is that I normally really appreciate shorter fights because I get often really annoyed at the repetitiveness of longer fights. And I do think that overall in my Hero Academia, it's been really good. Like even the longer fights, for the most part, as soon as they went like to the anime, could be done in like 1.5 episodes, even the longest so far. And I really liked that. And this one is the longest by far now, but I still think it's not too long. I think if it had gone on longer than that, it would have probably become stale at some point. But what he's doing really well is that he's like giving progression to this fight and their story happening within the fight. The reason I don't like long fights is because it often at some point it just turns into this sluggish match where they just punch each other left and right until one keels over whoever that would be. And here it has like this great progression of first we have Aizawa controlling the work, then we had Endeavor fighting, then we had the kids coming in, then we had Shoto
Torino.
coming in, then we had Gran Torino coming in, right? I forgot about that now. Gran Torino coming in, then we had Deku taking over the fight from Endeavor, and we had Endeavor trying to do something else, and we had Deku and Bakugo taking over the fight. We had Bakugo sacrifice Death, we had Deku flipping his shit, and then we had essentially a short all for one for all encounter, and then
an hour out.
So
yeah,
it was
and so
always
it's always
progression,
shifting.
and things happened, and characters grew, and there were moments in between. So it wasn't like they just stood and punched each other forever. Like if, for example, the fight between Rappa and Kirishima had taken that long, of course that would have been boring and stale because they've just been punching. That was curt and nice. But this one, I think, was good.
Perfectly said. Yeah, I agree.
Gas. My nigga never fail. That's all I got to say. Now, I got 2 things to say. One is a question, another is a comment I didn't get to make when Ian was talking earlier. Shut the hell up, man. Big ass bus you driving through the warehouse. My fault.
Oh, you're saying that to me.
No, I was talking to my coworker. On that big ass fucking musical bus around. My fault. But yeah, first of all, I wanted to say the miracle thing is what the hell? Okay. What I wanted to say with the miracle thing is, man, I ain't never get on that panel. She was like, she came out the fucking tubes and was talking shit with the blood running down her ear, looked like a psycho, talking about just clacking away. Boy, let me tell you something. Well, I know I'm gonna say a punch on her. Good Lord. That nigga is different, man. Oh, man, that's why to go. But off the horny train, you know what I'm saying? Let me not get started. My sub energy coming in. But we got a question from the chat, no Discord, I should say.
What's up?
The question was, how do you guys feel about the genius reveal, and does it take anything away from Hawk's character? This question was asked by none other than JJ.
No. So here's one of the things that I said earlier. Is like there's one of 2 things that happened here. Either he kills Genus because Genus is like, yeah, I'm not actually going to go be a hero, so I can't do anything anyway. You might as well take me out. I don't want to make an announcement that discourages people anyway. Or Genus was like, okay, we can fake this. But once we saw Hawks kill twice, I was like, maybe. Shit, like, fuck, we don't know. Like, at this point. And Genus being alive, the only issue that I have with that, actually, no, there's no reason to be upset because society had already adapted to not having Genus. So they were like, we don't know where he is. He's missing. And what that also does is Genus will be one of the few heroes that gets to make it from the top 10. He was already injured at Kamino. He didn't get to be heavily involved in the war. I mean, he could die here, but it does allow for him to have the conversation with Bakugo, who hasn't seen him in months. So I'd much rather Bakugo and Genus actually get to talk than just because, like, as soon as we got that name reveal thing, it was like, all right, either he's going to have to go to the funeral or he's going to have to, like, actually have a conversation with them. Now we have the chance to have a funeral. It's como estás, Taransh, and estoy bastante bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? So,
he's insulting us in a foreign language I don't understand.
No, estoy bastante bien means I am quite well.
¿Tú entiendes español? Oh, señor Aniki.
But yeah, we could actually have, like Coyote just said, Genus dying, last breath, and Bakugo tells him his hero name. If Genus ends up sacrificing himself here and still dies, then I think it especially pays off. That's literally Spanish 1 introductions, bro.
As Genus says, "What's your hero name, my boy?" And Bakugo crawls over there limping, and he's like, "It's King Explosion Murder still." Boom.
Mic drop.
I never change.
No hablo español bien, pero estudié español en colegio. So,
Flo, what do you think of BG's question? Oh, sorry. Do you have something else to say, Aniki?
No.
I was going to answer, okay, but then I got food, so come back to me.
Yeah, I saw that. Is it good?
Absolutely.
That's what's ringing my damn doorbell.
Yeah, what's your answer for?
I'm answering after this.
Oh my God.
He's got to savor every bite. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else in this chapter that I thought.
No, hold on.
Well, yeah, what is it?
I gotta address East right quick. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? East?
Egg roll.
What's up?
In the chat, in the Zoom chat, got my booty raised.
Yeah, you didn't see me. I meant to say hand. It was autocorrect. It was autocorrect. You don't see the correction mark?
Oh my god!
I said, finna make something shake. I said, I'm finna shake my hand so I can get noticed. Come on, now get your minds out the gutter, bro. I need y'all to do better, bro. You don't want to shake. You don't only shake my ass while I'm saying.
Ew.
All right.
Oh my god!
Here.
MHA good. I like it.
I actually don't know. Wait, Annika, did you answer the question?
Answer again, because I got distracted by the chat and us accusing Flo of eating glizzies.
Did you answer that question I raised?
I thought we all like tackled it together, but like
I wasn't here because I got called, so I didn't hear what you said.
I'm just distracted by the chat going in Spanish.
Yeah, that's been distracting me. So here, real quick, shoot it again, and I'll give you like a synopsis of my answer again. It
was essentially that I've heard people say that they feel like MHA should probably have a couple of longer fights because we were known for its short fights, and should have like longer fights like older series had. And I've seen two different takes on it, which is that some people think that, man, it's just dragging in this shit already, and other people are like, this shit is gas. I love it.
So the way for me it works is like this. Fights in MHA are usually shorter for very particular reasons, which is the goal is to end them as fast as possible, literally in canon. Like, and I think people need to understand that this is not the same as a lot of shows where, oh, hey, it's me, Son Goku. Let me get into a fight with you real quick and test out my abilities and, slowly scale up as we figure out how, no, this isn't MHA. And MHA, hey, yo, I'm trying to beat your ass so you stop doing bad things. Sit down. You're bad. You're grounded. So, like, if I'm trying to arrest you, why would I sit here trying to have fun? Why would I play with you? Why would I, stall this out and let you have extra collateral damage? Like, why would I do that?
Which is what Facum literally says. Like, Facum brings that up specifically. That's why they have to finish fights really
long
fast.
Fights need to be used sparingly. In the case of Shigaraki, he busted out at 75%. Like, even All Might versus AFO is one of the longer fights, and that's not that long because they're both equally powerful. So it's just two big forces hitting each other repeatedly. City level threats that can just level like miles of building, just throwing hands. So because of that, the fight still ends up rather quick. Now, when you look back to like the longer fights, the longest fight being this one versus Shigaraki, why is it this way? Because the only person even sort of capable of generating like city level force here is like Deku, and he's not even able to do that. His 100% smashes are still not up there with All Mights yet. So yeah, the fight's gonna drag on because nobody can actually do the crazy amount of damage to just like break through the threshold and, succeed. And that's relevant. It's contextually longer because there's a justification for it narratively and it makes sense. But if every fight goes 6, 7, 8 chapters, that's terrible. That makes no sense. The heroes are terrible at their jobs. That doesn't sell what we're trying to be told. We're supposed to be told that the heroes are good at their jobs. The crime rate is like 6%. They're out here getting complacent because of how hard they're winning right now. If every fight took a long ass time, the heroes wouldn't have been winning that hard. That wouldn't have made sense.
Or like people getting slammed into buildings and a lot of like collateral damage because it's like, oh, bigger explosions, bigger whatever. It's like that would go against, like you're saying, like what they're supposed to be doing. It's why like Kirishima was like, oh man, he's scratching up these buildings and people might be inside there. I gotta finish it quick. So
let me ask this question then. And what type of hero would y'all be? Would y'all be a rescue hero, an action hero, or you can choose whatever quirk you want? But think about it realistically. Don't just say, I'm gonna have one for all and I mastered it and I just want to beat everybody else. Like realistically, yourself based on your personality and the way you live your life. What quirk would you realistically want to have? Like in honesty. Like
I want half hot, half cold, and I'm a hitchhiking hero.
I would have one for all. I'd have one for all. Yeah.
I've always gone with tactile TK or gravity manipulation.
I think I would really, you'd really like these powerful quirks, but I really get a kick out of all these chapters where they just save people. Like even this chapter where it's mostly about saving. I really like that. Just seeing that is awesome.
Yeah. That's my favorite part. That's literally my favorite part of the Endeavor versus Hawks fight in the anime, which is where Hawks is saving everyone with the feathers and he jumps out the window. And he's like, 76 people evacuated out of the building. And the music's building up. And he's like, sense them fierce wings. I just love the saving aspect of MHA. So
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, some of y'all didn't answer like what type of hero you would be too. Everybody's just like Flo, just like, yeah, I'm gonna knock some niggas' heads off real quick. You know what I'm
I'm a
saying?
hitchhiking hero.
Look,
Blow,
okay,
bust them blows.
here. I'll just explain to you what the OC was. It was like the benevolent hero tyrant. Dude that had gravity manipulation. One of his big things is like when he's teaching classes, if you don't bow your head, he'll increase the gravity for you so that you have to.
Ooh, oh, he on that other shit. He on that other shit. He on that Miriam shit. Okay, he on that
So
Miriam
like
level.
he'll walk up and like if you low tier villains, King's Dominion, that's like an ability. Boom. The gravity's like 10 times. You're instantly dropping shit. Feeling salty. Like it's like that.
Hey, you know what, Donica?
Gravioli.
Hey, Annika, you still got the design for that guy? I'm about to text for it right now.
Actually, I do have the design. Like I had the whole design written down because I had commissioned this girl to do the art for me, and I bought her an anime convention ticket in exchange. And then she got really drunk one night and tried to choke me and called the police. So I never got the commission. But
you know who has the worst luck with women? God, this nigga be also.
I told you that Aniki backstory be hitting. I know.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
backstory arcs.
I finished that night like in the back of a police car waiting until I could go home.
Aniki Smash Origin. I can't wait till that chapter comes out.
I know, bro. Hey man, when I said I wanted to be choked, that ain't what I meant, dog. I didn't want the police afterwards.
So yeah, but I actually do have a commission that I can send you. Oh yeah, because Smurda saw the.
Yeah, to answer your question, no. I do have a picture.
I don't have a picture. I have a description that's very detailed on like what the outfit looked like, the color scheme, all of it. I just have to go through.
Because the memory is a flashbulb in your brain.
Well, because I can still go find the original description in the chat, even if I'm blocked.
Yeah.
I just have to like search through it.
But yeah, no. To elaborate on my type of hero, I just want half hot, half cold, because the fact that I could just like walk around the planet and just like, if I need a house, I just make a nice house, and if I need fire, I have fire. So I just walk around the earth, and I'm just like, hey guys, I'm the hitchhiking hero, Ian Waffles. Do you need me to burn some waffles or build you an igloo?
Whether you're in North Siberia or in the Sahara, pretty much doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, literally, I can walk the earth unharmed because I can create icebergs. So
also, what's funny is that
I'm excited.
On Wednesday, I'm going to be on Project Manga for a one-shot, and we're discussing.
I knew that was you.
Yeah, we're discussing which quirks we want to which quirks in real life, like what would their applicable like usage be. So like we're like this. Awesome. It's going to be like a stream. Like, all right, which quirks would you pick for real world usage? Why would you do it? Da 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 da. So like, yeah. So the people who watch both just got like a teaser of like what the one shots is going to be. So like,
well, that's cool. Yeah, I was nervous because the image was nervous because the image was Uraraka and Deku fist pumping. I'm like, yeah, the special one shot is shipping. It's like, no. The most useless conversation.
Aniki, what are you doing? No! You would have chosen one, Aniki. You were like my brother.
You were supposed to bring logical discussions to MHA. No!
I hate you. I want clout, nigga.
Nah, we doing the ship stream this year. We doing one for next Valentine's Day. Actually, hold on. Let me double check something real quick. Let me check something real quick. Let me look at the calendar.
Hey, where is this calendar, by the way?
You said where's what?
The calendar. Is it in Discord?
No, he checked his personal calendar.
I meant like a literal calendar. Yeah, Valentine's Day is on a Sunday. So
actually, yeah, that works.
No, I'm talking about for all the future streams that you didn't put on a calendar.
I should give you an actual calendar.
Aniki, after the stream, don't hang up, and I'll make the calendar as we go along, because I could do it.
Yeah, we need a Google Docs.
So I can actually make it look. All right, for me,
but I was gonna kind of switch the subject because I was gonna answer BG's question, but I say you should go on first.
Okay, and I was just gonna say, honestly, I use twice as quirk the same way they shut your ass up. I use twice as quirk the same way he did, honestly, bro. Just to never be lonely. That I always have somebody by my side, even if it's yourself. But at the end of the day, all you really got is yourself. You say one more word, I'm gonna kick your ass, man. I'm tired of you. I'm making all that noise before I write you up. You want a Detroit smash in your booty, man?
First, I'll honestly answer East question. So East, I'll probably have like a quirk like Dark Shadow, Black Whip, something that's like kind of general, so I could do for a lot of different things, not just like I could fight, but like I could grab something, say something, or something, blah blah blah. Regardless. But now back onto the more important question with BG, because I honestly, if anyone who thinks that this fight is being dragged has to be smoking crack. Like, I know it's a little harsh to say, but this fight has been amazing for the plot, pretty much, right? And if you think about every single great fight scene that there's ever been, it's mostly for the plot, not for the actual people throwing heads. I think people are being too much of a meathead if they really think that this fight is dragging on, because if you notice, every time I rate a chapter, I like if there's a heavy action chapter, I'll be like, yes, it was good. Like, had great art, had a lot of fighting, but like I wouldn't say like, oh my god, it was like a masterpiece. But I'm more invested in the plot, like what's it, Naruto versus Sasuke part 1, right? Like the fight was good, like it was amazing, but the more important aspect about that fight was the plot between Naruto and Sasuke. Well, why they're there, why, the build up between that fight, right? Like there's so much more. And if you really think that this fight is dragging on, then you probably don't care about the story of My Hero Academia. And I wouldn't say you shouldn't read the story, but I mean, you should look into the story or look into things that make a story great other than fights. That's all.
Or at the very least, just admit why you're here. Just admit you're here for the fights. And move on.
And okay, so that's the other thing that makes us crazy, right? Is that people are like, it's losing steam. How, but they want fights. You want action. So you get another fight set up. So you can get more action.
So you saw that tweet, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I liked your response to it. You want more action. You get the plausible grounds for more action so that we can take a slight detour, get another fight, which is going to be hand-to-hand based, which we don't get a lot of in MHA.
Yeah.
We usually have powers involved. Getting to see what Uraraka's martial arts is coming to, seeing what that knife work do, and then you gonna complain? Make up your mind.
But Uraraka's just a love interest character. There's nothing to her.
And that's what it really comes down to. They don't want to admit that they were wrong about that.
I am going to laugh at the fact that fucking somebody said that Toga trying to stab Uraraka was a great shipping moment for the two of them.
that was all over Twitter.
I mean,
whenever
he was an abusive relationship. This is perfect.
That's just funny.
I really want Horikoshi to troll people with the shipping though. Like I want him like at the end. This because I'm not too invested into the shipping, right? But I could obviously see that Horikoshi are setting up certain pairs. But there was if you guys watched Digimon, I don't know if you guys watched it.
Of course I did.
The original one, like they kind of were setting up Tai and Sora to be to right?
I don't like
thinking
about that.
Later on, they switched it so Tai's rival ended up getting his love interest, right? And I thought it was like a nice little twist. So if Horikoshi did that for this series, it would be so funny because I would love to see the community. The community would be
you fell for that. I can't believe you fell for that, BG. I knew exactly where the motherfucker was going.
This nigga.
The community would be enraged. I love it. Yo, if Bakugo ended up with Ochako, oh my god, that would be so happy. That would be so funny. That would be so funny.
Better than Toga and Ochako, right? I mean.
Yes.
No. What about Mineta and Momo?
Momo. Yeah.
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Momo has self-respect.
Yeah, that would be great.
Then who would get with him? He has to have some sort of. They're gonna give him some sort of win.
No, it would be Mina because she's the one who taught him. Yeah, it would be with Mina because she gave him the Clockwork Orange treatment.
Mina taught
Headcanon.
No, I said it before. Mina's gonna get the biggest win by ending up with fucking that lady.
No, headcanon. Headcanon. All right, this is a serious theory. So what if Mineta gets with Invisible Girl? So like, even someone who's always like, perving out for like, ladies for the sight of a woman, the person he ends up getting is someone he can't even see. So she actually has to fall in love with someone that like, he knows, right?
Is he not perving about Hayakuri? I'm pretty sure he's perving about Hayakuri too.
Has he?
I don't know.
I don't think he has.
I know in that one filler he did, in that one filler episode we always do in the first season. Because the only way he didn't perv then was Jiro.
Coyote said it best. The best ship is Mineta and Loneliness.
Nah, my boyfriend get a harem. My boyfriend get like up in the ranks, and you're gonna have a harem.
I just said it before. He's gonna end up with Mount Lady. That's gonna be his fucking. That's gonna be the end of his arc.
Bro, what's happening to Kami Woods?
My boy.
That nigga did not.
Kami Woods can heal up with death arms.
No, he didn't. No, that nigga didn't listen to Smokey the Bear. Only he can stop wildfires, and now he became one.
Bruh.
Hey, chill out, man.
Bruh. Why you do that? That's rude.
Man. Chill out, man.
That's why people say Americans are rude, BG.
Let's not talk about shipping Mineta with anybody.
Yeah.
Also, I love how I didn't mention, like, y'all somehow still, like, I was like, like as a joke, and then it was like, no, we're finna talk about these ships now. Like,
yeah,
this is a big figure.
Shipping stream now. Yeah.
Hey,
that won't be me.
I wanted to talk about what Flo said though. It's literally I can convert. It's funny that the argument we make for MHA, I can convert and spin it on anybody's head. I could say, well, the people like to say, well, My Hero doesn't have like this moment in One Piece or that moment in One Piece. Like, it's like, okay, like the best. I was thinking about this today. The best comparison I can make, like, because I don't like comparing the two, and I don't have that much in depth in One Piece, is that you could create equivalents to the overhaul, Deku or Lemillion wrapping his cape around Eri to Arlong Park when Ufi, like, it's all about your investment in the series. I could say this moment hit harder for me than in One Piece because I'm not invested. I'm not invested as One Piece as I am My Hero. It's all about your investment. So if you coming at it from a biased standpoint already and comparing, it's like, well, My Hero doesn't have this point. Already, everything you're saying after that is invalidated because you off rip have a bias that you already presented into me. That means you are going in with a bias. That means you're not giving it your full 100%. Like, your view is already jaded. So I'm not trying to hear what you got to say about it anymore. Because everything you say is going to be, you're not giving it, it's all, you're not taking it at what it actually is.
Yeah.
You're just doing some half-ass. Yeah, you make some half-ass measure.
When you put it like that, then it makes me good to know I slandered Black Clover with no bias whatsoever.
Hold on.
I watched that OVA soon after I watched that My Hero, so I had no bias.
Yeah, so like the thing that's like sad is that, like, okay, when we talk about like slander, bias, whatever, it's always fun for me when I have these conversations where somebody's like, oh, like if I say I'm enjoying My Hero more than One Piece, I'm just like biased. But then it's like, how many niggas have the Straw Hat Luffy on their kitchen door? And then if you go in their kitchen, on 8 different cabinets, you see different Straw Hat bounty posters. So like, am I biased, or do I just happen to enjoy something a bit more?
Honestly, stop talking about my apartment.
The comparison is kind of stupid in my
opinion. I feel it is a sense of bias because it's like, as some people would say, like, yeah, it's like, because why do you need a series to have something similar to something else?
Right.
I don't need my reason I bring up Black Clover is because the reason that I don't like Black Clover is because it's too similar to other shit. Problem.
That's a very simple way.
I don't like things that are too. What's the word I'm looking for again?
Generic.
No, like they
trash.
Cliche.
An abomination.
Oh my god! I feel like I'm watching Black Clover get jumped.
Hey!
That wasn't my intention. That was my intention. My point was that, like, I don't see a need to compare to other things because I don't like things that are too much like other things. So if it's like something else, I'm probably not gonna like that.
Right.
So unless it can find its own spin.
Like, my thing is, I enjoy like the bombastic nature of like some of like One Piece's big moments and like how the power system is kind of wonky. Like sometimes, other times I'm like, wait, I want this to make sense for me. But like in general, So like sometimes when like you have these arguments like, oh, this is better than this because, and I'm like, well, I don't agree with that because I also will appreciate the fact that the way that like My Hero's power system is structured is like far more in line with, for example, like with like science and like real world physics to a certain degree, where you know you have these overheat mechanics, you have this frostbite mechanic, you have dry eye, all these like simple ass things that like in Naruto they're like, yeah, like you go blind out like from like overusing the Sharingan too much, but they were never like, yo dog, you realize if you just like have your eyes open for 3 days, like 3 minutes straight, is gonna dry out, so you need to blink.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
what I would
like,
say is that I think it's. I mean, of course, if you compare two stories and you like one and you like the other one too, but maybe a little bit less, then there is a bit of a bias there. Of course, I mean,
Yeah.
Nobody is entirely objective, but it's also like saying that this show that is now closing up to 300 chapter didn't have that other moment that another story has that's closing up to 1,000 chapters. I mean, it would be kind of sad if One Piece didn't have 1 or 2 great moments more than My Hero, because I mean it's 3 times as long by now.
It's been around longer.
And and the thing is, what I think is that I agree that it's all about emotional investment and in the story. And I have to be honest that after 1,000 chapters, One Piece is currently at the point where I'm not that interested in. Like I loved this show for so long, and I'm currently not that invested in it, and I'm slowly falling out of love with it. And My Hero is doing maybe the opposite. Like I have to be honest, like I'm more invested in Endeavor than any of the characters in One Piece after 1,000 chapters. I have no idea if that lasts when Endeavor is dead. But I mean, that's just how it is. And that's even though I am massively about nostalgia, like a story I've read since 2007, One Piece. And I'm massively about nostalgia. Normally, I just look back at this with rose-tinted glasses. And still, at this point, I just enjoy My Hero more.
I think people should be more open to like this idea. Like I can understand, like I've never had a problem with somebody enjoying stuff more. I don't like when people just straight up lie when they talk about series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a conversation with somebody and they were like, MHA, like that's not world. I was like, yes, it is world building. How can you say that like diving into the CRC, understanding that like these groups were existing as a faction and doing this throughout history, and they're slowly diminished because people have gotten more accepting of quirks because they had to be. How can you not consider that sociological commentary and explanation of the timeline of the society we are in as not world building when that's literally a part of how the world is structured?
Well, the world of MHA is not the planet; it's Japan. World does not mean literally world.
But that's kind of the problem, though, for a lot of people. Some people think that. And I don't know what caused this, but they believe that world building is not about fleshing out, developing, and like pushing the boundaries of what type of world you have. It's about, hey, we're in this city. Now let's go to this country, and this country, and this country, and this country.
Yeah.
And so part of the issue is we need to stop telling people that long series are gateway anime.
Oh yeah, I know.
They are not. Terrible. They are not gateway anime. They are not gateway manga. They should not be used as such. If you're going to recommend somebody to get them into anime, manga, whatever, you should be using shorter series. Like you recommend Samurai Champloo, recommend Mob Psycho, recommend One Punch Man. Do not give somebody One Piece. Do not give somebody Naruto. Do not give somebody Bleach, because what ends up happening is as like this becomes the mold of like what anime is, and it has to be exactly like this. This is how like the storytelling has to be. It needs to be a certain way, and people don't realize that. No. You don't, because like you notice like a lot of people who like have like hard big three or like fairy tale or really big like DB nerds, they will like, and I say this as I'm wearing like my Goku shirt, but like they'll be like stuck. And like if series don't do things like the same way, like if things aren't as meatheady as like Dragon Ball Z, sometimes people just kind of like write it off as trash. If it's not, an island hopping adventure where you're going all over the place, people will be like, well, that doesn't have good world building because it doesn't have world building the exact same structure and way as One Piece. Then I feel like that might be why it benefited me to start with FMA. It is.
Because I'm glad you said that, BG, because I was just about to ask y'all. What's y'all, if y'all had to recommend 2 to 3 anime to actually put somebody in there and get them in the anime, what would it be? And my two to three would be FMA, probably Samurai Champloo, and I just probably can think of those two off the top of my head because I wanted to give you like a deeper understanding of how deep the stories can get in anime. It's just like just because you don't judge towards something that's just because of the medium that it's in. Just because it's animated doesn't mean it can't carry the same weight as the story as a fucking autobiography
live action
or whatever. Yeah, live action, a novel or something like that. Don't judge it by the medium. It just depends on who's behind the fucking pen.
In addition to that, one of the ones that I actually use is Attack on Titan. The reason why I use Attack on Titan is because, especially, like I told you guys, like my buddy Woodrow's, or that might have been on a Data for Stream, whatever. But he's really big in like Criminal Minds, that kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, you'll like the dark, visceral nature of this series. So yeah, I'll recommend somebody. Death Note is another one that I'd recommend to somebody sooner.
Oh, yeah.
Because Death Note was only like 39 episodes. Even like Attack on Titan right now is at about like that 80 mark, or it's not even at an 80 mark yet because it had a 26 episode season, a 24 episode season effectively, and a 12 episode season. So real quick, 62. So yeah, like 62 episodes. That's not that much, but at the same time, it gives them like it's such a structured story that as they slowly like cycle through it, they're like, wow, this is like amazing. This is what it can be. It can be a serious medium. It can have like these intelligent conversations. It can talk about trauma. It can be all these things and also to a degree, like a lot of long running anime have these little gags in there, like a lot of humor in them that maybe a lot of people don't want anymore, right? Like slap comedy kind of died out for a reason. Like it's just not that popular. But if you in a gag comedy and slap comedy just aren't that far apart from each other in the humor spectrum. So maybe somebody doesn't want a series where every time a character sees a woman, he like gets a bloody nose. Maybe that's kind of like lame. Yep, Gurren Lagann is another good one.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you right now, I'm so fucking tired of that nosebleed trope, especially when it comes to an MC or he walk in his own room and then he gets slapped for walking in his own room. Shit, I'm like, bro, that shit is played out. I'm tired of it. I don't need it, bro. Nobody fucking act like that. Stop. Right. That shit is not funny.
So, like taking the time to factor in like what people are into can change the world. Like, one of my friends, like, only like somewhat watches anime, but like he did end up watching Kuroko no Basket. There's plenty of weebs that won't watch Kuroko.
I'm one of them.
Like, it's still like, do I enjoy it? Yeah. Do I love the fact that it got like kind of ridiculous with powers? Yeah, because I was like, all right, like the reason I like that is only because I was like, this is a good way to show people how like creative anime will take simple stuff and then just ratchet it up just to be goofy and like fun. So like it's a good way to take like a grounded something and be like, this is how like some of this stuff will go.
Bro, like I gotta say, Kuroko no Basket. It's really funny what I'm about to say, but Kuroko no Basket has like one of the best fucking fight scenes in all of anime. Where fucking what's his name? Agaimi and I got the main character's name too.
Kuroko?
No, not him. Kagami. Yeah, Kagami and Aomi. Yeah, Aomi. Amine. Yeah. Those two, bro. When they went into the zone and they were going back and forth with each other, the craziest thing, bro. It was. That's really weird. That's a great fight scene. But yeah, I fucks with Kuroko though. I've never seen Slam Dunk though.
So I can't watch Kuroko because Kuroko himself, he fits perfectly with his ability. He has no presence.
So like, and like another thing, like with Kuroko's has one of my favorite flex scenes in an anime period, where you get towards the final game or whatever, and I can't remember the red-haired kid's name right now, the one with the devil's eye, but like his whole thing is like he can like see the court properly, so he like crosses the entire team and then like goes in for a layup, and as they all break their ankles, he's like, you got to remember you're supposed to kneel before a god or some shit like that, and they're all like, ugh.
I saw a clip of that fucking Street Ball episode. That shit looked lit. I'm not gonna lie.
My recommendation's always the same. It's just, I mean, and I don't want the debate that I'm gonna hear, but I think it works. I just recommend Avatar.
Avatar. Oh my god.
No, I would say Avatar's a fair one because
because it has all the great things about anime, but it has Western sensibilities. That's why.
The only reason I would never use Avatar is because I know a lot of people who watch Avatar and I wouldn't even think twice about looking at anime.
I mean, I could understand the thought process behind it, but since it does like adopt a lot of the same styles, it's still like a gateway into it, right? So that it still be a good recommendation out there.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, look, look. If we really started, it's not gonna be a unanimous decision. Is Avatar anime? Ask the TL, it'll be a big ass debate. So I think it's fair enough to say that it has enough precedence that it can lean either way. Because if I can't ask Twitter, if I can't take a poll on Twitter and these get 100% or 90%, yes, Avatar is an anime. Yes, no, it's not. It's gonna be like 50, 50, 60.
Well,
40.
the point doesn't even matter.
No. I get what he's getting at. So I get what he's getting at. Yeah. That's all that matters.
The point is if it gets you into anime, it doesn't matter if Avatar is anime. And for me, Avatar did lead me to going, okay, what inspired Avatar? And they were like, oh, it's Cowboy Bebop. So then I looked at Cowboy Bebop, which has a lot of Western sensibilities, but it's a little bit more like wacky with like the hair and like kind of some of the situations. And then I moved into Gurren Lagann, and then I was like, okay, now I can just take anything. So
like Kill la Kill both is and isn't a great starter anime. Because
depends on who you're talking to. Yeah.
Yeah, like one, that, but two, it's also kind of a meta piece. Which is why like the enemy is closed, because it just like part of that is just to make fun of how hard people try to shoehorn fan service in the series. And so it's like, all right, instead of like calling it out in a direct way, fighting against it, we're gonna crank it up to 11 and make it the plot is you have to be naked to be powerful.
The plot.
Like the plot is there's no such thing as fan service in Kill la Kill because everybody gets strong for being naked. And we're not even gonna make it a female specific thing. Everyone. Like you gotta realize Gamagori is wearing a gimp suit. Like one of
like by the end of the series, it's just a group hug of naked people. Like
my bad. I thought honestly said a comment got you. I'm sorry, Mom. Kill la Kill again. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought you said a comment got you, boy. I'm about to get bad as fuck, man.
Wait,
I'm curious. What is the anime that got you all into anime? What was your gateway?
See, I grew up on local TV, so I had that young Sailor Moon, DB, Fighting Foodons, Digimon, Pokemon.
I'm like, wait. I need a consensus. Digimon or Pokemon?
Digimon.
Yeah,
actually, I like neither, but I don't care about Pokemon at all. So Digimon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pokemon games, Digimon anime.
Yeah.
Bakugan Battle Brawlers.
I have an interesting scenario.
Oh, Ninja Scroll.
Thing about me is I watch anime. I knew about anime when I was a kid. I also hated it. But that shit was ass.
It's actually similar to me. I did grow up on the same, not the same, but most of the same you just mentioned also ran on TV here. And I didn't like any of them. The only thing I liked was Detective Conan. Wow. And when I first watched Naruto, that was like in the middle of the show. I didn't understand anything because it was. I think the great thing about Detective Conan was that it's like this episodical. So you just watch one episode. It's great. You can watch the next episode 3 weeks later, and it still makes sense.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, I did watch Yu-Gi-Oh. But the thing is, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know that shit was anime. That's the funny thing about it.
Yeah, and then later, I think Yu-Gi-Oh would be, and then Naruto.
Even One Piece was in my early years. Like,
no. Yeah. I watched that. I watched Toonami One Piece. That shit was ass, and I still I turned that shit off.
I watched the 4Kids dub One Piece where Sanji had a lollipop calling Zep and old Giza.
That is Toonami One Piece. That's what I mean. That is Toonami One Piece.
Hey, let me ask you this then, in a deeper sense. What was the anime for you?
No, like I got
that switched me over.
That's what I was getting at when I was talking about that. Because thing is, when I was because when I got turned into when I was a teenager, I made a friend who when I went to their fucking house, they had on FMA on the fucking TV, and I saw that when I was like 9. I was like, oh, this show, I know what this is. So they had me watching that, and I was like, this shit is fucking awesome. I'm gonna watch this when I get home. Then I binged the fuck out of that. Then I went to Brotherhood, loved that too. Yeah, so then I've been on this shit ever since. So it's FMA for me.
I was fucking with Beyblade too. Yeah. Let's Beyblade.
For me, the anime for me, the anime that actually really because I had watched like I said, I watched Avatar and then I was like, okay, what inspired Avatar? They said Cowboy Bebop, so I watched Cowboy Bebop. But I was more like I was the kind of guy who you know how you have that phase where you're like cartoons are for babies, whatever, cartoons suck,
Yes.
live action's where it's at, and then you grow out of that phase. Now I was in the phase of like Avatar's the only good thing like anime. And everything else is just weird garbage. And then I watched Cowboy Bebop, and I was like, okay, maybe there's 2. And so then I watched Gurren Lagann. I was like, all right, maybe there's 3 good anime. And then finally, what did it was actually to bring it all back around, My Hero Academia, because I watched season recent. 1. I watched season 1, and then I watched season 1, and I was like, this is lame. And then I watched season 2, and then I saw season 2, and my friend was he had it on in the background, and it was the sports festival. I was like, you guys are gonna be like, whoa, this is a transformation. I was like, man, they're just doing boring school stuff. Who even cares? Go back to fighting villains. That was the only time the show was good. And then I saw
but you were 15.
No, I was like, I mean, I'm 23 now, so really? I was probably like,
I thought you were only 19. Sounds
that means you were like 19. You were 20 when that came out.
Yeah, I'm a very recent anime fan, but yeah, so I saw that.
That's interesting.
He's more recent than boring.
So I was like, it's just boring school stuff. Who even cares? Season 1 was whatever. I called Deku Jake Schlong because I didn't care about him one bit, and I just thought he had funny hair like Jake Long from American Dragon. And the only thing I liked about season 1 was the fight with the Nomu. And then season 2 happened, and the moment that Deku. The moment that I fell in love with Deku as a character and also just the whole series was the moment All Might said, young Midoriya, don't tell me you were trying to save Todoroki the whole time. And all the switches in my brain just went off, and I like cried because I was like, this guy didn't even go in with the intention to like help Todoroki. He wanted to fight him. And then at a certain point in the fight, he went from I need to beat Todoroki to show that I'm a hero. And then he went into I have to save this guy because he needs help. I was like, oh my gosh, Deku's the greatest human being of all time. Oh, my heart. And then I was through.
So like, okay. Because like the way I watched season 1 of MHA was like, all right, this is solid, but Bakugo's kind of a dick. I was like, Bakugo's a dick. Deku, like, I was like, bro, you got to get some confidence in there, get your weight up, little homie. You know, you made some moves. Yeah, you got your ass beat, but you can bounce back. You know what I'm saying? You just showed that you can think on your feet. You got to give yourself more credit, little dog. Come on, let's get it popping. And then the USJ happened. And like I said, one of my ex-girlfriends once called me All Might as an insult. But watching All Might be like, I might die. I really shouldn't be here, and I really shouldn't be doing this fight. But a real hero. Like, especially, like, specifically, it has to be, like, in the anime, because, like, there's, like, extra scenes in the anime. So I think it wouldn't have hit as hard for me if I'd have read season 1 of MHA. But, like, it was, like, Sabbath being, like, a real hero. And then, like, you see him, like, smashing, like, doing the guard break. Will always find a way for justice to be served and, like, tosses him to the ground and lands. Like, that's when he, like, stomps on the ground because he's, like, as the Nomu's doing the ground bounce, like, it's fucking...
Yeah. It's still hilarious that the Nomu fights, like, 2 pages in the manga.
Yeah. And then he's like...
I must be very different then, because when I knew about that manga for a while, and I was like, it's a kid with no powers. Mid, I ain't watching this shit.
Really?
So then
you really built different, but everybody else loved you get Quigley's dick. Shut the fuck up.
Well, that fucking like sentiment is so goofy to me because I'm like, y'all wanted him to have no powers? That sounds boring as fuck in a world like this. So then but then I heard about an anime.
Oh shit! BG
all right, fuck it. I'll give it a chance. So then damn, can you hear me?
Yeah, you get it.
No, you're good.
I said I was like, I might give it okay, it's getting an anime, I might give it a chance. So then I looked at the first chapter and I saw individualities and shit. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So I called my friend and talked to him about it. He's like, oh yeah, it's gonna get way better. So then after that I binged the shit in like 3 days.
Right.
And then the anime came out.
Also, if I answer that question, like what made me get to be a true blue weeb, what made me go, all right, let me like lean into it. Let me start reading manga scans and stuff like back in high school. This is gonna throw people through a loop because I feel like people have heard of this, and I've actually brought it up randomly on Twitter. Air Gear,
I know what that is.
my boy Jeremy, it was my junior year of high school, and it was his sophomore year. We're like walking through the street because there's no sidewalks over there because it's a rich neighborhood, so they discourage foot traffic after school. And like for some reason, Air Gear came up, and so like we're talking about it, and it's like, holy shit, you read Air Gear, or like Air Gear even exists. And so all of a sudden we're talking about Tripai and the roads, all these other things. And so like we're sitting there, like every week then it became we would hang out and read manga chapters together. So like Air Gear gave me the friendship that like let me just like
that's
go
I think the
nutty.
The deciding factor. I think the series that brings you into anime is not the first anime series that you like or the first anime series that makes you consider anime as a serious medium, but it is the series that brings you into the community. Because I think up until you get into the community, you're not really aware that it is any different to any other cartoon.
Yeah.
At least that was for me. Like I watched Detective Conan, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh, but I wasn't really aware that it was different to cartoon or that there was a community behind it. And it was when I watched Naruto, and then I kind of got into the community more. So in this case, it's Naruto, even though Naruto wasn't the first.
Well, I got in from Green Naruto, so we're the same.
Well, for me, it was a little bit different. I knew anime was built different entirely from like the start, from when the openings came. Like I think the first anime I even peeped and seen, there was two. It was one. The first one was Dragon Ball Z. One of them, whenever Gohan turned into his full monkey form, I had just seen that like one late night. But then I was still at my cousin's house, and my uncle came in. Hey, y'all go to sleep, this, that, and the other. And then my mom came pick me up. Fuck, I was like, what was that shit? And I just asked my cousins, like, oh, that was like new Dragon Ball. I was like, okay, I know what that is. Then the second time was Yu Yu Hakusho, at like the first arc when like all the four boys were together and like they were going into the castle and like the was crashing down on them. And that was like, I was like, oh shit, what is this shit? I was like, bro, it's getting real. Like, bro, they're gonna die or what? And the next thing I know, it's like it cuts that I gotta leave it. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? So then one time I finally get to actually watch anime, I started figuring out what this shit is and stuff like that. So I already knew it was built different because, and then it was like this shit would have a linear plot, like it would keep going. Everything else I was watching, and there was no other cartoons like that. Everything would just have like little like 2 episodes, but everything was always resolved in like one fucking episode. And it was like for anime, it would be the plot be continuous over it. You have an arc and stuff like that. You start figuring out this stuff like that. But these anime openings, that's when I knew this shit was like real different. Like for me, if you got an opening, that's how you fucking sell me, dog. Like if you show me like, if like say you show me Deku right now, right? Let's say I wasn't an MHA, but then you show me like his gear upgraded and you show me everybody like, fitted to the nines and shit like that, I'm instantly starting the series. Like, all right, bro, you got me hyped, bro. Because I love developments and character progression, like skips like that. Like if you switch your face, getting dripping, you looking older, I'm automatically 10 out of 10 sold. I will read anything you show me. Like if they look different from the start of the series to the end, I'm definitely doing it. But how I got an MHA was fucking funny, bro. Like it was 2016. Motherfucker, I was in. It was like Arden senior and shit. I had just finished up all the hard shit because I thought I was gonna graduate because they didn't tell me about my school stuff. From like I failed like freshman year because I was upstate and I wasn't in ATL. I had to switch schools and I came back. I didn't tell them all the shit I failed because different school systems, different states do different things.
Yeah.
So I didn't have no credit. So I had just finished. I was on my read and we just cool in senior year. I'm in my graphic design class and I just I'm scrolling through like Crunchyroll. I'm like, oh, hey, this poster look kind of fire. I like, let me start this shit. I like, okay, these niggas look kind of cool. I started, bro. The minute Deku started talking, as soon after that, man, look, bro, I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker's gas and shit, and these motherfuckers started playing.
So here's the thing.
And you got all the fucking characters on the screen, like in a badass way. I was like, dog, what the fuck is this shit? And we start going through the episode. I'm like, bro, this shit is fucking gas. And the whole first episode sells you. After that, you just keep going. Keep going. By the time you reach
wasn't
episode
the same
13,
for me. Wasn't the same for me.
When it's time you episode 13, I'm like, fuck that no more dog. And he's stomping that nigga out. Bro, I lost myself. Like, bro, I started the manga instantaneously and I binged that entire summer, dog.
Because I want to point out, I gotta touch on something because like you talked about openings, and I remember like Naruto was on Toonami, and you remember it would like slide out, and then like it would be like, this is what's coming up next, and it would be like, oh, Zatch Bell's next, and then it would be like then, and then it would be like then later, and it would be like, okay, so up then is gonna be like Family Guy or some shit. Then it would be like later Bleach, and I remember or no, it wasn't even that because like Saturday nights was usually like anime, so it would be like FMA is up or something like that. Then it was like Bleach, and I was like, I don't know, and like I was like, maybe I'll change it when Bleach comes on, and then that. And I was like, huh? Like that song came on, and I was like, "All right, you got my attention."
I always like the
So
Bleach
cute.
openings.
That's
All
that's
the
just so
Bleach
nice.
openings are
I'm
amazing.
not gonna say all. I'm not gonna say all. Some of them
Okay, not
shits-
all, but they
Yeah.
have. What I really like
Yeah.
about the Bleach opening is that they are so artistic. Like they always look different.
Like
I might be. I'm one of the few people that thinks this. I think I like Naruto openings more than Bleach openings because what is it? At least
you
most
are
good
my
songs.
friend.
Even that, what is it? No. It's like because like what is like because like there's like because you talk about they're all like different. They're all different. There's one for example that I think people sleep on when it comes to Naruto openings. It's like New Song. That one's like looks like the most different from most of those fucking openings. I think it's really fucking goofy.
It doesn't
also
really mean the
fuck
song.
opening.
I think I like the songs of Naruto as much as I like the songs, probably maybe even more as I like the songs from Bleach. But I always liked the visuals from Bleach openings the most because they always did something different. They always made it. They like put different art styles in it and made it really artistic. Which most of the other openings they just show the characters, some fight scenes, and Bleach just went all the way to showing really creative things.
Got them in different outfits, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But my favorite opening of all time, Samurai Champloo's. Still.
That's
Fair.
cool. Yeah.
That's a fair one.
Like that's probably the only opening I've never skipped.
No, I have to admit, I mean, Alec, you can tell everybody I've been super late to My Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been refusing to watch it, refusing to read it for so long until he finally made me. And then I was really disappointed by the first opening. Like the song was cool, but the visuals were so boring. It was just like character's name,
it was a very safe opening. The first one was very safe.
Okay,
so
I'm very
boring.
happy. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to hear somebody else thinks it's overrated.
To me, the best opening is opening number 4 still.
Which one?
Opening number 4.
That's
season 3 part 1.
Odd Future.
Odd Future.
I keep my ideas for friends.
I like that. I love that one. Odd Future's good.
I mean, the Culture Festival one's great though.
Oh yeah, no, like
I love that one.
Don't get me wrong. The season 4 openings, I think the season 4 openings, like if you take both season 4 openings and like you scale, like if we were like power scaling openings of seasons, like season 4 would beat season 3 because Make My Story is a worse opening. It's probably still my least favorite opening.
Bro,
I'm not gonna call it the worst.
No.
Actually, don't
that
hate
shit
it.
is
I don't
like
care
that
much
one.
about the visuals because I don't care much about the characters, but the song is fine for me.
No, that shit ass.
Worst
That
one
shit
is Peace
like that
Sign.
song.
That shit is ass.
You said the worst one is Peace Sign?
Oh hell
What kind of cats?
Hold up.
And the best one out of all of them is the one for the Stain arc.
Oh, I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say worst. Peace Sign was good.
I didn't say Peace Sign was bad. It's just the worst.
The worst.
Make my story dookie. Make my story.
I'm gonna be real with you. The fucking the blue the first opening of season 4. I love that song. Those visuals ain't it.
Bro,
I can get behind that.
What? Season 4.
They flop.
See, I actually like that one a lot.
I like the song. I love the
But that
song.
one they chose for more like symbolic routes. Also, yeah, Trigun was another early one that I watched. Which Escariet, I don't know if anybody's watched, like any of you guys watched Escariet.
No, unfortunately.
Man, come on, Tsunami heads. Come on, Adult Swim fans. Tell me some of y'all watch Escariet. Because it came on after.
Never heard about that. Is that a different name? How do you write that?
Doesn't even sound like it's like English or Japanese.
It was Skraido is like how we said. Hold on, I'm gonna drop it in the YouTube chat.
What's the best MHA ED for all of you? Mine's still the Girls' Day Out from season 2. I love that one.
Mine is still Heroes. Yeah, mine's still Heroes.
Whichever one the first one still hits my heart.
Yeah, that's Heroes.
Oh, yeah,
that's Heroes.
That one. Yeah, that one's great too.
Heroes is my favorite.
And then the last one's like slap too.
Yeah, that was actually. I think that one is actually my favorite.
I mean, it's either Heroes or it's either Heroes or it's the one from season 2 that was done by Lisa.
No, it might actually be the last one we got because visually, I actually really enjoyed that last opening a lot. And because like one, like Mario does like a really good job of being like really upbeat, and just like the little small details that they like included in there with like the different kids not being able to sleep because of like the traumas. Mirio's like just straight up being in bed crying because like of everything that happened to him. Just all the little bonus details in that outro were insane to me. Plus, like, you know, that everybody was like, oh, that's how we're going to get Pro Hero arc. No, we're not going to get Pro Hero arc. Like, up, boom, we got it. Cool. Even though...
Yeah, which is crazy.
And
that
it's
part
the only,
disappointed me, though, right?
And it's the only
Pro
outro...
Hero arc opening with little Pro Hero arc in it.
And that's the only outro with Mirko in it, so...
Yeah.
It gets points for that, too.
The outro was great, yeah.
An underrated one is the one with all the storyboards from season 3. It's the one with at the end of the first half of season 3 where it's all these like storyboards of like the seasons, and then it goes into like this like pastel, like their everyday life. It's really cool.
Well, that was kind of cool. Whichever one had the All Might and Deku walking, abysmal. That scene was ugly. They had
that's the worst. That's the worst one. They had
the build nasty. That shit was built ugly. I was like, who drew this shit, bro?
That's the second half of season 3 where he's running on the beach and he's got like crazy hips or something. It's a weird.
Yeah, like that. I'm like, bro, Deku not built like this. Why Deku dummy thick? And it's not right.
So basically, what you're saying is the second half of season 3 just has the worst music decisions.
I mean, it's basically just the worst part of the anime anyway. So,
but what I really loved about the ending of season 4, the last one, was that even as a manga reader, you could just pour over it and make find new things in it, which is something that's really difficult in the anime to get.
It's like when AOT fans got that reveal last year, and we realized that the season 2 opening outro literally had a manga panel in it from like 2019.
Oh. I'll never get over how the licensing exam they were just like, oh, it's like chaos or something. Put gunshots in the background for this test where we're throwing balls. And they just constantly put gunshots in the background to simulate that people are fighting.
I mean, you know, it's what you got to do sometimes.
It's the Hunger Games.
Also, because I mentioned Air Gear, Tenjo Tenge was also another good one made by the same author. Martial arts manga / anime, highly recommend.
I thought you were about to start recommending Iki Tosin or some shit, bro.
Nah, Tengen Tosin, that's the one with that blonde hair nigga got his ass beat, right?
Yeah.
I know y'all
almost everybody has seen that beating on the TL where this dude randomly gets like jawed into a wall, just starts getting his face pummeled in, gets hits in the stomach and pukes right there. Yeah, that's Tenjo Tenge.
It's the one where the dude got the blonde hair, but he got the ugly ass blonde hair. That's how y'all know.
How did you feel about Kenichi then? I know you've seen that, Kaneki.
I actually have not finished Kenichi.
Really?
It's literally saved in my Prime to watch list so that I can like go back through it.
I'm very surprised by that. I've seen that shit twice. Even though I don't think I could watch it now because I have now I have many animation sensibilities. I would probably shit all over that show if I watched it now. So I'm gonna just leave it in my memories as a happy memory.
And like my boy told me all anime should be done like Baki, and I'm like, no.
Oh, okay. I don't want anything looking like Baki ever. Ever.
No. There's some 3D animation that I've seen that's done right, but I wouldn't say it's very awkward.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. No, it's not.
I think it's very awkward
Land of the Lustrous
to switch between animation.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so the only anime I know that's done it right was Demon Slayer, but they don't. They do it in a way that it's very subtle. So 3D animation is easier to produce. So that's why they do the fighting scenes with the 3D anime. But typically, when you have a live moving object in 3D, in contrast to the regular 2D drawn in sketches from the rest of it, it's very, I wouldn't say like vividly displeasing. It's weird. I don't know how to put it.
I wouldn't use Demon Slayer as an example of that then, because there are scenes in Demon Slayer where they'll be in 1 minute they'll be 2D and then the next they'll be blatantly 3D.
But the thing is, they usually do it for not all the time, but they'll usually do it for background for scenes that don't move, right? So you can't really tell. But sometimes they do have their body in it, but they do it in a way that it's still acceptable compared to Baki, pretty much.
I feel like I'm saying a better example of that would be from the same studio when they did Blade Works, or fucking Heaven's Feel. When they do Fate, I feel like they're much better at Fate than they are Demon Slayer. That's just me.
but typically Baki kind of just dropped the ball. It's just like it's so blatantly obvious that like they don't even try to hide it. So it's like it just comes off weird. Like especially if you're like a first time viewer, like I was, and then I was just like, okay. But it's just something you have to get used to.
Let's just put it like this: why would you watch Baki when you can watch King and Ashura? You can read King and Ashura instead.
I don't even know what that is.
All right. I don't know why I just let myself read that on Twitter, but damn, my brain just collapsed a little. Somebody said it should.
What did you read?
Here, I'll read it out loud. Man, what the fuck? It should have been Sue versus Toga, not fucking Ochako. Fuck you.
Wait, what?
Why is she still alive? Now Black Clover is carrying Jump. You love to see it.
Ew.
You saw me quote that, didn't you? I quoted that nigga. I'm like, y'all niggas is weird as fuck. What's going on?
Right? Yo, I think the best part was he said that Black Clover is carrying Jump when it didn't even get in the top 10 sales. Oh my god. Oh my.
The other thing that makes that especially bad is BC is literally having a decline in sales right now.
No, almost every volume is less.
Yeah, why is that happening?
You wanna we can go into that because I love trashing Black Clover.
Oh my god.
I mean, let's not take every opinion on Twitter seriously.
No, that would have.
But it's funny.
No, it was funny. It was funny because look at that terrible edit. It's less of the opinion for me and more about the edit itself because the edit was terrible. Like he just took a tweet that had my hero, and then he scribbled out my hero, and then like wrote Black Clover, and then scribbled out the Black Clover and wrote my hero.
Except he didn't even scribble out the entire MHA logo, which only makes it worse.
I'm reading Black Clover and I'm actually really enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to catching up.
Yeah. So pretty much the thing about Black.
Don't let this slander fool you, bro. Don't let that slander fool you. It's a decent series.
No. All right. So if I'm being honest, like trolling aside, it's enjoyable. I'm not saying it's not enjoyable. I'm currently reading it like week to week, right? Because it's just something to do. It's like it's not something I like. I'm looking forward to. Like, oh my god, the new Black Clover chapters. I'll just be like, all right, what does it do? What is it gonna attempt to? I don't know. All right, fuck it. Anyways, Black Clover is pretty much the epitome of what Shonen Jump strive to be. I guess I don't know. It's the most generic shonen anime that's ever was created. They just wanted to make the most shonenest shonen anime and said let's put it out there. And you want to know the most egregious thing about it is that when they came out with when they started politicizing Black Clover, it was saying it's the new king of shonen is here. This is going to be going to top the charts. So they knew they were making a generic shonen. They knew it was just like, we're just going to take all the tropes from the biggest animes and then just combine it into one and just make a shonen anime.
Actually, I was going to say about that. I feel like that's Shueisha making them say that because Shueisha themselves thought that this was going to be the series that could replace Naruto. So they were thinking that it was gonna be their big seller. And then they had Crunchyroll on their own site start being like, yeah, man, this is going to be huge. This is going to top the chart. It's going to be the best shit you've ever seen. And the thing is, my friend told me that too. That's why when I watched the OVA, I was like, okay, this didn't really hit for me, but it's an OVA. It's an OVA. The anime is probably going to be better. And it's a terrible day in hell when I don't care about the OVA. I think the OVA was better than the first episode of the anime.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
The OVA wasn't even that. The thing about the OVA is it wasn't bad. It wasn't good either. But it wasn't bad. I thought it was all right. I wasn't hooked though. But then the anime, I hate the anime version.
In all honesty, they were probably just playing on the idea that he wants to be the Wizard King. So it's like, whoa, it's the new king of Shonen Jump. That was probably it.
The reason I don't agree with that is because it's not just them that was doing that. It was also the fucking Shueisha. Shueisha was pushing that shit heavy, when it first came out. So it's so to me, I feel it was just essentially okay, so it ain't really taking off in Jump. Okay, that's strange, but we know we can get it in the international market, push that shit like a motherfucker. And surprisingly enough, it's rather successful.
Yeah, I hope it does well. I hope it doesn't go downhill because I mean it came around the same time as MHA, so I wanted to catch up on it because it's like MHA came in the dorm with him. I just started the Elf War arc.
That's probably the best.
That's where I dropped it actually.
My favorite arc is still like to me the best written arc in Black Clover is the Royal Knights exam.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Because it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't want to spoil it for Ian, but it doesn't betray itself. It's the only arc that doesn't betray itself.
Well, I already did that one. That's the one. That's the one right before the Elf War, right?
Yeah. He already saw that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
No, I enjoyed it.
That's the arc where I realized that is the coolest, boring character I've ever seen. Because
Mimosa is best girl, and that's all there is to it.
That just means you like healthy relationships. I like a girl that actually respects.
I know. I'm pretty bad here.
My girl respecting me? Nah, don't need that.
So it's pretty much. It's not. I actually hate Black Clover. I just hate the fact that Shonen Jump wanted this to kind of replace Naruto and kind of like selling it like a kind of watered down version of Naruto, right? And then like they expected me to like just take it for what it is. I'm just like, I know what you're doing, so that's why I slander. Slander as much as I can because I want Shonen Jump to do better. That's why. That's all it is.
Well, my thing is perfect because I'm gonna. Go ahead, BG. Yeah.
My thing is,
I was just gonna say I'm gonna take the ball and I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna segue it back to MHA because the person I like to slander is Dobby for the meme. But you know what? I'm actually hyped for Dobby. I'm excited for what he's gonna say.
My whole thing is I read that shit with no expectations. I didn't have any comparisons or nothing because I had no fan base when I looked at it. And the thing is, it just doesn't interest me. There's nothing I can think of, and it's weird for me because I love Magic. Magic's my favorite type of power system, and I think that the way they handle Magic is terrible.
Like for me, it was Vanessa literally asking her spell book to give her the strings of fate.
No, that made me laugh. I'm sorry, that made me fucking laugh. That was awful.
Almost everything in Black Clover. Like I remember since like how you said you had no bias coming into it, I was like almost the complete opposite because not only did Shueisha and Crunchyroll started pushing Black Clover as the new Shonen Jump, as soon as the synopsis of the series came out, where it was like it sounded like this man was just sitting right next to Kishimoto while just making Naruto and just going like this, just like looking across me like, all right, yeah, he does that, okay. I'm just like when you give your homework to someone, he's like, yeah, but change it up a little bit. That's what pretty much Tabata did to Kishimoto, right? So I'm just like, I watched the first episode. I was like trying to go in as much faith as I can, but like maybe he'll like put an interesting twist to it. And then the first episode first chapter comes out. I'm just like, wow. So he just like went straight into the like the classic tropes of you have a demon child not being respected in his society, kind of being ostracized, but he's always still having the good view on the world, even though everybody treats him like shit. You have the rival who's super cool, super talented, right? The only difference is that like he doesn't have the Sasuke hatred like about him, which pretty much what makes Sasuke the best character, like a better character for. But literally just is so boring and doesn't do anything but just to push Ashton to be stronger. It just feels so generic to me. I just can't see like I like it for what it is, but I can never say that it's like literally like I can't say it's written well. I can't say literal. Yeah, but you get me. Yeah.
Everyone try to say it.
What are you going to say? Literal or literally?
No, not literally. Literally. Yeah, like
literally. Yeah, I don't know.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, bro.
Literally.
Speaking of wizards, we gonna talk about.
You can always use a word, but then when you put on the spot, you're like, I have no idea.
We're gonna talk about how Horikoshi racist against wizards.
What you mean,
bro? The Glass Wizard and Majestic, both of these niggas had raw ass designs as wizards, and guess what? They got clapped. 2 chapters of they was introduced.
Compress is a magician.
He's a magician.
He's a magician. He still does magic though. Same shit.
No.
Also, when we were talking about this earlier, Compress will if Compress is the guy that I expect to get away and just like be in the wind at the end of the series. I think everybody else has to face their consequences, but I think Compress gets away.
And he says, and after all that, I still did what I did best.
So the vanishing man.
Yeah, he's like, I always, as I said, I always get away.
Yeah, I was great at running away.
He straight up said he's a master of escapology.
We still never see his face either. We just
okay. I have mixed feelings about that, but us never actually getting to see Compress's face would both be really cool to me and extremely frustrating.
Why?
Because on one hand, I kind of want to. When you wear a mask, sometimes it's about
who is it?
Something. Who is it? What's the mystery? Because he wears two masks. This man is always wearing two masks. So,
it's just so he can do a sleight of hand. It's magic. It's all about misdirection.
So he can vanish. Just pulls off his mask, and you don't know it's him.
Wait, you mean like Kakashi, bro?
Yeah, but he's covering even more of his face than Kakashi.
No. Well, I said Kakashi because don't you remember what he has underneath his mask is another mask.
And they're dog.
I bet we did eventually see his face. So.
You guys
we did. I'm talking about fucking. It was a filler episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in a filler episode where they spent the whole episode trying to find his face.
I mean, I love Kakashi. And I could live with not seeing Kakashi's face for so many years. I could live with not seeing Compressor's face. I don't care.
Yeah, for me, I need to see a nigga face.
I'm so excited for. Go on, East. Yeah, go on, East.
Oh no, I was just saying. I need to see a nigga face.
That was me. Yeah. I just said I don't really care about Compressor's face.
No, I'm just excited for whenever Dobby pulls up and he's got his PowerPoint presentation, he's got his video streaming going on, and he's like, and the character that all of us would like to meet, Mr. Compress, why don't you tell us about your life story with Hero Society? And that's how we actually get Mr. Compress's backstory, is Dobby interviews him on
that
TV.
Would be the best. It's just
oh my God.
I'm just here for fun.
Yeah,
he's been here this whole time.
By the way, I already took those names down that who were really fucking with Dobby before the reveal.
Dog, Dobby is great.
I ain't trying to hear about extra on my train. All the tickets been sold already.
So here's my question though, because we were talking about, because when you look at the League of Villains panel, it looks like Dobby is he's got that smile going, but it looks like he's just focused. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna fuck these heroes up.
It was funny. Are you talking about Dobby, right?
There's a certain
certain
level of zeal.
Smiling.
Like I said, are we talking about Dobby?
There's a certain level of zeal in his face that one, I think it the other thing I like about this scene is that Compress and Spinner are very much more normal in their sense of criminality. Like we talked about with Spinner having more grounded motivations for joining the league, where it's just life ain't working for me, so fuck it. We don't know what Compress's motives are yet, but when you look at Dobby and Toga, they're both crazy ass people. Hey, who's doing dishes?
That was me. My fault.
I'm not old.
So
my fault.
But be productive. You're on a stream.
he just got finished reading the chapter. Can he clean his plate? Golly.
Shit, no, it's got to stay messy. No. But you remember Dobby was man, this crazy bitch. Meanwhile, he's running around just murking people left and right, front and center. So it's kind of nice that you see the insanity of the two characters who pulled up as looking like crazy people that said they were big fans of Stain versus the actual confusion, concern, and distraughtness
madness to them.
That the other two have, where they're this isn't you sure you want to do this? And Spinner, the other thing I like about this is Spinner not trying to physically stop her at all. Them all being look, we really don't want you to go, but we respect your decision to do so.
I think it's also a good characterization thing for Compress that, because it's a bit contrived or whatever, but I don't care. The fact that he's just he's whoa, there they are, and he sees them. But I like that he brought it up specifically because he had asked Toga earlier, hey, you're looking for those UA kids, and so he spotted them, and he's like, wait, that's them, right? And then when Toga goes to leave, he's like, crap. Well, I should have factored in that she'd jump off the giant monster. That wasn't a smart move. But that shows that and he's always been this way. He's always like kind of cared about Toga and been like, oh, you put this old man to shame, Toga. You know, like he's just, or like whenever she asked about the Yakuza, he was like, oh, let me explain to you, dear Toga. Let me explain to you what the Yakuza are. So
the thing is,
I like that.
Compress is clearly the oldest one in the group, and you can tell that he does have a certain protective nature and care for these younger kids. It's like he's like, I'm gonna be a chaperone while they get through their life of crime.
Like, I need to know his backstory of why
we have to know.
It's got to be like he had a kid or something.
Because
it has to be something personal, because he doesn't have a quirk that would lend itself to discrimination, nor does it inhibit his personality. It seems, at least not in a way that would make him an outcast.
Right.
The way he seems actually very well-adjusted, as if he could just be any guy.
Yeah.
And
there's no reason why he would be.
You think back to MVA also, is like, as soon as Makia was on his way, he was like, look, everyone, we need to finish our battles and converge on Shigaraki. Fuck everything else. Fuck the nigga you fighting. Fuck his friends. All of that. Get to Shiggy. We need to go. Everybody else, don't get me wrong, get 10 pulled off, and Dobby's like, oh yeah, I almost fucked him up. thinking about his personal beef, and Compress is like, not the issue. Twice is like, liberation of soldiers, do your thing, as he's trying to get in, and then oh shit, it's a little late, but late is better than never. Even though I was getting close to the end of the stream.
Is that what I think it is?
And then you got. So he's constantly showing this chaperone concerned nature, and it's just a part of who he is. Also, I need the anime to do a bit of a better job animating Toga's gear, because I don't think it looks toothy enough in the anime.
Yeah, I never knew that her thing was this giant mouse until I read it in the manga and it was clear. I was like, man, that's such a cool design. How come I didn't notice that?
Listen, we need to talk about the greatest thing ever right now.
I never actually noticed that either.
Bentley is on stream.
Wait, what? Oh shit.
Bentley, you don't see Bentley?
Ian
Man, fuck dogs. Anyway.
Whoa.
Wait,
the dog.
Yo, guys.
Hold up.
No.
Bonzu has not gotten to be here. We're getting close to the end of the stream because I'm gonna have to punch in for work soon. So I'm working from home today. So Bonzu, let me hear what you were thinking about the chapter today. Give me your theories, your speculations. You didn't read it yet?
I didn't read it because I was studying.
I just wanted to hang out.
Let's read it. Up, chop.
Okay. I'm gonna read it right now.
All right, we'll wait for you.
Okay.
All right. So
in the meantime, no, I'm kidding.
Aniki.
kidding.
Well, not Aniki, just Aniki, but for people upon Mr. Compress, Mr. Compress is really truly funny. Mr. Compress really cares, because when he found out how dangerous fucking Chizaki was during overhaul, he immediately stepped out. He's like, oh, I need to compress him up. He's very dangerous. As soon as he did Magne, it's like, everybody step back, and then fucking Shigaraki yelled to Compress, you need to hold up. He was like, I need to take him out quick, but he was proceeded to get his arm blown off. Me and Shishu were big fans of Compress, so we had the theory that what if his magic act went wrong one day?
Yeah,
which is completely possible.
Wouldn't that make him? I mean, in what sense wrong? Because if it goes wrong in the way that he does something wrong with the act, then wouldn't he be more on the line of restricting quirk usage?
That's weird.
Not necessarily. I mean, I didn't say the one for one specifics, and everybody has a different things going into it. And I don't think that would be we need to control our quirk, stuff like that. That's not a serious thing. That was a magic act that went wrong.
Oh no! I was not ready for that.
For what?
I wasn't even.
I hope that's not a real life reaction. I hope that's not a reaction to something in real life.
No. He's reading the chapter right now.
But what part would elicit that reaction?
What part?
I'm pretty sure it's the reveal or them pulling. I'm pretty sure it's the middle of the chapter, since he hasn't talked to us yet.
Yeah, but I think something. Yeah. I think something crazy about Dobby's plan is that Like every time we talk to him, it's like, oh, he probably needed like Endeavor or he needed Hawks or whatever. But he keeps being like, oh, Endeavor's there. That's just a plus. Who even cares? That's cool. But I already had my plan. Like, and then he's like, Hawks, I don't even need you here, even though I brought you in to do a specific thing. I don't even need you. Like, so I just need to know, like, what kind of like crazy PowerPoint presentation or speech has Dobby been cooking up for like 250 chapters that he's like, I don't even need the people. I don't even need actors or props. I just need my voice and my flash drive. And I'm just so excited to see what he's got to say.
So
I'm just imagining an actual PowerPoint presentation on the back.
They have hologram screens. Remember the one that Deku got to get into UA?
Yep.
He just puts it on the ground and he's like, all right, pulls out a stick.
Oh yeah,
Pulls out a stick.
What's up, guys? It's Dobby here, coming at you live.
I have to say something. I have to say this. I gotta say this right quick. What is it? Chocolate Thunder. I'm sorry, but we're not gonna talk about Fairy Tail being generic when some niggas actually die in Fairy Tail. Well, I can't say the same about Black Clover. Don't slander Fairy Tail on my watch.
No, that shit's still mid.
I love Luxus, but that's like
Fairy Tail is mid. I still love it though.
But
I'm not gonna let you talk about people not dying in Fairy Tail when nobody dies in Black Clover. Stop.
That is a pot kettle moment. So
yeah, exactly. I'm like, nah, I can't let that slander fly.
Oh, but no, like, because like Dobby has realistically, because this actually ties into kind of what like Sayas was saying too. Like, why would they listen to Dobby? Besides, like, yo, objectively, we got pulled up on. We were having a friendly discussion of ideas in the hotel, and all of a sudden, the heroes terrorized us. So then our boy Makia had to go say what's up to Shigaraki. He's not the smartest guy in the, so he just kind of ran there. Is it our fault?
Not his fault. He just
wanted to meet his boss.
And then your favorite hero, Hawks, killed Deadpool. You guys like Deadpool, right? He's dead now.
He's now in a pool of his own blood.
They don't care about Deadpool in this particular Deadpool.
Oh, you go.
Then you factor in though, like, even if, okay, like let's say Dobby didn't infiltrate like the Hero Commission at some point, and that's not, like, at some point we have to figure out, regardless, we need a reason for him to know Keigo Takami. So him specifically having access to a flash drive, having access to like having infiltrated their organization somehow, having potentially like been in an orphanage managing to get a hero's license of some kind or some nonsense like that, and then just like flying under the radar, whatever the case might be. The fact that you can't find information on Dobby is kind of weird. And the only way, the only thing that would make sense about that is if somebody erased it.
Mm-hmm.
So like if it was in a database and then they made it a point to hide Dobby. So like Dobby has to be hidden for a reason, because fire quirks aren't that rare that they should be able to completely miss out on a dude that has blue flames.
I mean, like he couldn't even find out that, I mean, obviously we know what Dobby's quirk is, but Hawk said he couldn't find any information. So he couldn't even find like, this guy has a blue fire quirk. Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is that the thing I've always said is that I feel like the fucking like the Hero Commission or like the heroes know something about him. Because they don't know who's doing it. Like they know he exists, but they don't know who's doing it. Because like that's what Snatch said. Because Snatch talked about how like I noticed there was a whole bunch of like burnt bodies and shit. Do you have anything to do with that? Yeah. So the thing is, so they don't actually know that Dobby exists. So like if anybody were trying to argue that, why would they listen to Dobby? He's a villain. They don't know that. Nobody knows anything about this nigga.
The implication about not finding any information might just be that really back when he was supposedly died, I mean, if a person dies 10 years ago, you wouldn't really go that far back in terms of looking for dead people.
I'm referring mostly to the even the league. Most of the league are unknowns. The only people, because the only real person that when they think of the league is the ones that have been captured and fucking Shiggy.
Yeah.
But in terms of people like people know about Toga in her hometown. The greater world, they'll look at Toga and be like, "Who the fuck is this bitch?"
Yeah, but if I say Jin Booby Gawara to the fucking public, who the fuck is that shit?
No, Jin Booby Gawara was one of the American, like not.
Oh no, you're right. Let me use compression stat. I forgot Twice was the top one criminals for his armed robberies.
What is he? Ashihito Sato or something like that?
Yeah,
Ashihito Sato.
I'm never
Like-
learning their names.
Sato, the
Yeah.
most
I'm
common
never-
shore name in Japan. One of the.
Speaking of listen to Dobby though, people are gonna listen to Dobby. They're not gonna join the league, but they're gonna listen to Dobby. Why? They didn't even fucking fuck with the heroes. Like that dude was
He also just
saying
has
this
to invoke
chapter.
Stain.
Yeah, bro. Like the dude was saying this chapter, bro. They not finna be they not they not finna be fucking with the heroes, bro. They not, they're gonna listen to Dobby, what Dobby has to say. Because why should we listen to the heroes anyway? What faith do we
No,
have?
example, all he has to do is talk about how. All he has to do is just talk about how the heroes abandoned them.
Or how the heroes brought children to fight a war. The children that, they were all kind of suspicious about, like, hey, aren't the kids of UA kind of getting in this a little too far? We kind of want them to scale that back. And then what did Dobby literally say to Tokoyami? He was like, hey, look at this dead body. Isn't that pretty sad? And Tokoyami's like, well, I'm just here to help my teacher. And then the other thing he said was, oh, so they're dragging kids into this war? That's pretty tacky. So
Well, that's part of what I would. That's part of what I'm referring to with the whole like heroes abandoning them, because why else would they have fucking Veronica mention? I always see that Veronica mention like, oh, weren't all the top heroes supposed to be on this mission?
Yeah, that's
so
true. Yeah,
so they bring attention to the fact that the heroes have abandoned their posts and there's no one protecting the cities anymore. So so I can imagine
specifically to go interrupt a conference, like I said, to like that looks kind of shady.
Yeah, so when you look at the people who, when you look at the people who got attacked by Makia, they'll be like, they'll be like in the last moments, like, where are the heroes? Why aren't they helping us? So
they're gonna blame the heroes. I don't know what people don't get about. They're gonna blame the heroes. This is all
they've
the
already
heroes'
been
fault.
blaming the heroes. Like
they're
we
the
started.
same people who are like, a kid got captured. That's the hero's fault because they didn't plan for a sneak attack in a forest that nobody should know about. Those idiots.
Yeah, and I was watching Camino with my homeboy, my best friend, and I heard them niggas talk. Like one of the dudes was like, "Oh my god, Almighty's got this," and then like, "Or what are they gonna do?" And it was like, "I don't know, man. The heroes look kind of sloppy. Them niggas kind of flopping, you know?" What I'm saying? I'm like, "See, bro, see."
Yeah, I guess the public. That's the reason that it has to all come to a head here, because of the fact that they've been building it up slowly, and now it's going. It's the slowness is just out the window now, and now it's like accelerated.
And the people have to decide. Yeah, and the people have to choose whether or not they want to follow the system, or hey, maybe I should protect myself when a giant monster apparently can just run through the city and nobody's around, and the heroes can't even stop that. So, or like these near high ends, which I still do not believe that we're gonna get. Like, we're gonna find out off screen that like Native and Burnin murdered a bunch of high ends. It's like, yep, those aren't a factor anymore. Like, I think we're gonna have monsters running around.
If Native couldn't take on Stain, he can't take on a goddamn high end.
Native takes on a high end. I'm gonna...
Yeah, Native is doing.
He's the one who outlives us all. Native outlives us all to support cultural appropriation.
Yeah, because he's safe.
Horikoshi on his toes. He's like, man, they can't stop me from running the whole villain arc. But these SJW, they do be tripping when I do something to a female or I start drawing black characters. You know what I'm saying? So let me tread lightly with him.
It's simple. He realized that Native was problematic, so he wanted to take him off screen. He doesn't deserve a dignified death.
Exactly. When your quirk is just appropriation, you gotta go.
See, look at our like.
That's something. I mean,
favorite manga.
If his quirk is really, what quirk does he have?
It looked like he can move rocks.
So nothing to do with native, with
technically
that's
just
Native American culture. Nothing to do with that.
What's the nigga gonna do? Invoke spirits? Is that what his quirk is?
No, literally. If you look back to when they were sealing up tunnels, it literally looks like he was like moving rocks or some shit.
Why would he go with native then?
Because he's rude. Because he thinks Native Americans are a bunch of rock people, and he's like, "Oh, that'll be a perfect gimmick." He's terrible. He's terrible. Yeah, they're earthbenders.
BG, when you get spirits in your house and shit for talking shit on Native, don't even say nothing, bro. When your house haunted with all that voodoo magic, you're gonna be like, damn, I should have kept my mouth closed about to go. Damn.
He's a bit more progressive.
We don't know. Maybe he has some Native American in him. Who knows?
If Native could invoke spirits, he would probably be higher than an irrelevant ass nigga that he is.
All I'm saying is, Stain wanted to kill him for a reason. What you think that reason is?
Yeah, because Stain doesn't kill all of his victims. He injures some of them. Like, he only kills a certain amount. So Native was like beyond saving, apparently.
Well, of course.
That nigga didn't have natives.
I think the answer is right in front of us, though.
he saw that cultural insensitivity and was like, "No, I can't have that. We
He
can't
was
have that
like,
on
"Nah,
the
bro.
streets. Look at the example you're setting with these kids.
You canceled, bro. You canceled.
You're
That nigga
canceled
did-
with your life.
That nigga did his ancestry.com.
I mean, maybe he does have some ancestry there. Who knows?
I mean,
Just give me the
nah.
credit.
Stay trying to
Honestly, earlier, honestly said
Nah,
that.
say I think it's safe. I think it's
Wait,
more fun to
hold
assume.
on, hold on. What is
Sound.
Who's getting arrested?
Yeah, what was that?
yeah,
What was that?
somebody's
You heard
in a
that?
fucking
Did
a bomb
Ponzu read the
shelter?
chapter?
Siren, I don't know.
I think he read it and left.
He read the chapter and then his house caught off. He caught his house on fire after.
Yeah, I was gonna say he freaked out and then he was gone. He was like Toga? Oh no!
All right, I'll just message him later. All right, guys, here, let's start doing final thoughts because I for real do have to like. punch
Oh,
in words.
one thing
I
is
was
not gonna
still
take
gonna-
long. It's not gonna lead to nothing. It's not gonna lead to. I just wanted to say that nigga X-List is actually handsome as shit, and I did not know that shit.
What, did we see his face?
Yeah, bro. Oracle in the last volume with the one, I think it's 28. Bro, that nigga face was revealed. That nigga actually looked like a fucking supermodel, dog. Like
He
that
got to
nigga
do
looked like
something
a-
nice. He got to do something
Yeah.
nice for him after taking him out.
Oh,
Then why didn't he know how to rock a cape?
Because he was built for that shit was built for shooting.
Yeah, he was carrying it for him.
that's a shame.
He was a martyr.
Yeah.
He was a martyr.
So
All
we're
right.
gonna,
All right,
we're
final
gonna talk
thoughts.
about our final. If we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about our final thoughts, I'm just going to say, good chapter. It was fun. If you want to read something raw, read JJK today.
I already read JJK while we were on stream. Powerful.
Absolutely, my boy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ian.
Same as what BG said. It was just a good chapter. I'm really excited for what it's leading into. I hope Uraraka gets all those 3 moments that I'm calling. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in a few months. So
Say yes.
I'm just hoping it's really, really, really best genus, and then we can finally leave that discussion to rest. And
When
I,
it's Captain Celebrity, I want to hear I don't want to hear anything else.
yeah,
Oh my God.
and I really like this chapter. I always like it when we go to saving the public and see a little bit of that. And I also really like side characters and fights with the most side characters. So I'm very looking forward to however that fight goes.
Yep. All right. East.
Hey man, you already know what it is. 10 out of 10. I don't care what anybody got to say. I ain't never changing my score. I'm keep gassing. 10 out of 10. Oh my God, my nigga set this shit up, boy. That nigga hit me with the left hook and then the right hook. And then the nigga hit me from the back of the head when he had both of his hands in front of my face. I don't know how you do it every week. This nigga to go. I can't wait because guess what, Master Avenger, I'll come for your fucking head because you've been slandering Ultra Cold this entire fucking arc before that. So when she get this W, I'm coming for all y'all niggas heads. I've been tired yet because you can't see, but you gonna see today. 10 out of 10. Hurry to go.
You called that nigga out by name?
He did.
Bro, I'm not subtweeting. When that shit pop off, I'm about to go today. I'm about, bro, on the TL. Bro, if Ochako get this dub, I better see some praise from Hori and her. I'm adding that nigga when I get off the stream. I'll give a fuck today. Because y'all niggas gonna stop that shit. Fucking weeks on end. Please do something. Please stop standing there. Bet. If you get that W, keep the same fucking energy. And I'm adding you, nigga. I ain't fucking subtweeting.
All right, Ponzu, you came back in for the final part. Oh, wait, see, now it just says it's connecting again. All right, Ponzu, you in here?
Let's go.
Okay, Ponzu, you came in towards the end.
Man.
We're wrapping up, but I want you to get. I'm going to give you this like 5-10 minutes. Just say like get whatever, get your feelings out, get everything off your chest about this chapter.
We got maybe best genius coming through in the next chapters. So I'm really happy for because I love this character. I love his quirk and everything about him. And I want to see what's happening next with Ochako and Toga because we were waiting for this confrontation, and we got done these things. Wow, man! Everything is like going through. I'm really happy what Hirokoshi did. Is he put pause on the One for All story side with all the heroes there, and he just right now taking care for fleshing out what is happening with Makia and how heroes are reacting to this and everything. So it's beautiful to see people going in action. So there will be casualties because buildings are destroyed. Heroes try to help everybody, but it's difficult. You see the suffering, you see the struggles of the heroes and the people there. So because people just to get even just leave their house, to just stay in their house, they're waiting heroes to save them. It is as if that they don't have like a survival mechanism in their head. Just if you can go out from your own house, why do you stay there? If you see somebody like in the in the in the in the just in the distance who destroys everything. So I'm really happy that you still see that the people are still like thinking in their head a hero can save us, or a hero can save someone. Because normal people, even if they see something like this, you get some people who just like to help people, and you don't see them. You just see heroes trying, and the heroes can't keep up because the fact that that Maka just keep destroying things along his way, so they try to block the rebels and everything to fall on people on the street and everything. So everything was clear. The art wise, beautiful, really a good, again, a great chapter for the side characters. So I give it a 10 out of 10 really right now.
Wow. I don't remember the last time Bonzu gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I really love in stories how the side characters are treated. If it is bad, it means that the author has to work somewhere. And Hirikoshi, up to now, he does his best, and this time, this is what I was waiting for him to do. So I'm really happy. It is really 10 out of 10 chapters for me.
All right.
Hanzo on the right team. Let's go.
Yup.
Yo, let's go!
No, Flo, you want to get your final thoughts out?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that I'm not surprised that East give it a 10 out of 10. He always does it, but Ponzu, not surprised that it still, because this was actually a great chapter. Like within itself, like just containing the chapter, like it hits on like so many different elements. First, we have like a little setup in the beginning on whoever's in the plane. Ponzu said earlier it was genius. Some people, I believe earlier we were talking about it when we were saying it was All Might, but this nice little setup, just to give us a curiosity on what's the unfold in the future. And just how Toga, the conversation between the league, just more getting them characterization and just developing them, seeing how their journey and what they're seeing and in their perspective. Because one of the best things that My Hero does is that it really develops the side character, and you don't need side characters to tell a great story, but it helps, especially if you're trying to tell a grandiose story. Like you have to have multiple pieces and complex, and the complexity between different characters, blah blah blah. But this really was a great chapter because, one of my favorite chapters, not favorite chapter, one of my favorite parts of the chapter is when Toga's the old lady, and then she just starts taking off. Because when I read it, I was like, damn, she's taking off. And it's just like the strength of my legs is thanks to my love. I was like, it was so funny to find out that later that was Toga, and I was just everything about this chapter. And it really does humanize Toga. It's just like, I just wanted to lure you out here, even though that this whole war is going on. Everything was shitty just to ask you a question, right? It really, I don't know, my hero just always lands on different layers. So I'm reluctant to give it a 10, but right now I'm feeling a 9.5. But if more of this unfolds, because this is something that was set up since MVA, when Toga first transformed into Ochako, and then kind of, it's weird to say, but her love for Ochako is growing in a very weird, demented way. But it's just really, really cool to see it unfold right now. And I want to see where it goes. But for right now, I'll give it a 9.5.
All right. So, my thing is that I actually do consider this to be like a 9 caliber chapter, at least, specifically because the utilization of side characters is important. Ochako is not just a side character, though. And I think it's important to remember that she's like the main girl of the series. And I even did a video, like it's like a year old. You can find it, and it's about how Ochako and Toga are supposed to play off each other like typical rivals do. And so him taking the time to actually like show you this, like them, like her having this much of a focus, because like the thing is that she could have rushed to go see Deku. She could have gone and tried to go figure out where Deku was, but instead she decided to prioritize Ochako and acknowledge her, because at the end of the day, by not having that conversation with Deku, she gets to keep him romanticized. Furthermore, what it allows for Ochako is to understand how demented Toga is in a way that Deku might not. So if Deku, and like the reality is like Deku arguably was trying to save Shigaraki towards the end of the getting his quirk almost stolen. So when you have somebody who is like, I'm going to save everyone, and you have the mangaka himself saying that Shigaraki is beyond salvation, then you have to ask yourself, like, who will actually be the one willing to finish the job? Because the hero that protects other heroes is going to have to be willing to get their hands dirty. To a certain degree, Hawks was a hero that was trying to protect the heroes. He was like, I'll infiltrate this. I'll do the dirty work. I'll go under here. I'll go undercover. I'll explore these things. I'll get these secrets. I'll find out how to, attack them, finish them, take them down.
I'll be a whole ass nigga.
But
no. He said, I will be I just want heroes to have a day of rest.
Right. And so Ochako is like basically what it's going to come down to. It is, do I think Ochako is necessarily going to have to kill Toga down the road? No. But if Ochako smacks the fuck out of Toga with a semi truck because she took the gravity off and turned it on at the last second to make sure the inertia was there to send her flying, that ain't going to surprise me. She's been practicing her hand-to-hand combat like all school year, basically. She's got a good quirk. Her gear's been upgrading. She hasn't been fucking around at all. The reality is that Ochako hasn't had like a real villain interaction, and like Bakugo's character arc, yes, we want Bakugo to finally get his villain matchup and his villain fight, and Bakugo got to land some like nice hits and set up some good plays here. So Bakugo's already got his payoff. You can argue that Ida deserves more payoff for his interaction in this arc, and he probably will get some. He'll probably end up having somebody and carry them away, running away high speed. Like that's probably going to be where that comes into play. Possibly even like let's say if Sarah was with him, grabbing them with tape, immediately turning off their gravity and just going. And like him running at top speed for 20 minutes should be faster than Makia. That shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Smaller, it's lighter load, etc. So what we're getting here, I think, is like we're going to start building up and finishing the rest of these other characters' arcs. I will still be disappointed if we don't get to Shiketsu and Monoma and like these groups. I think they still have to come into play within the next 5 or 6 chapters. We need to get them involved, and they need to be kind of coming in, getting involved as they pull out at the very least. So like the Last Stand like allows us to create a neutral breakpoint so that all of our injured can get out that need to get out, and some of the characters that need to die can finally have their deaths. That all is going to be revolving around and being set up by this distracted fight, because the villains are going to also have separate priorities to go and try to save Toga. And for all we know, the fight between Toga and Ochako could end up interrupted, because Shigaraki could get to a point where he's healed enough to use a quirk again, and instead of like trying to fight, he just uses the teleportation quirk and pulls Toga to him. Because if he's got the same set of quirks that All for One had, or a similar set to what All for One had in Kamino, then there's no reason to assume that they wouldn't have replicated the teleportation quirk, and he could pull the guys to him that are actually meaningfully close to him. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I just hold on, real quick. I just want to say one thing. I forgot to say earlier, I really like how the roles are reversed from when they first met. When they first met, Ochako was still trying to figure out and unsure of who she was, or like what she wanted to be a hero, because her thing was evolving at that point to where she is now. But Toga was completely sure of herself on all she wanted, this, that, and the other. Now the roles are reversed. Toga is questioning herself and what she really what it is, what's really going on. And now Ochako couldn't be more sure of who she is.
So yeah, which is another thing. It's like it's the same way that Deku and Shigaraki end up playing off each other, building up, is that you have that being structured with Toga. And like what this does is allow for like getting rid of the romanticization that Toga has for Ochako, allows for them to just be proper enemies. And that's what Horikoshi is like setting up here. So
too bad we have a break.
Which you guys want. So real quick, the people that read Undead Unluck and the people who read Mashal, y'all want to do that either this Sunday or do you want to do it next Sunday since we don't have a chapter next Sunday?
Next Sunday for me at least.
Next Sunday works.
Yep, next Sunday. Next Sunday's all right. Bet. Sunday OBA. Next Sunday, Undead Unluck and Mashal. You guys be there.
Get ready. Get ready.
So Sunday is that for vigilantes or?
No. That's Undead Unluck and Mashal is what we're doing.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yeah.
That's next Sunday.
Yep.
And this Sunday, what do you
Nothing.
do?
We're skipping this Sunday because the chapters came out this Friday.
Okay, it's good.
So it's next Sunday that we're doing. Yeah. And then
So
I might drop a video Sunday though, but like that won't be related to like the streams or anything like that. That'll be something that actually I was asked about in one of the comments that I'm kind of salty that somebody might have figured out what one of the next videos I do is. Yeah. So.
All right. Thanks for having me.
It was good to have everybody on board. Appreciate everybody coming through. Thanks to everybody in the chat, watched. You guys all have a wonderful day. The Church of MHA is out.
Love y'all.